Facebook is live. Our Mixler is live.
We'll see
Everything's
what kind of
live.
damage.
Hello.
I feel like every time I come on here, I say something crazy.
Just don't
We don't allow that anymore.
drink a whole lot.
Our sponsors don't let us say crazy shit anymore.
Who's your sponsor?
It's a good question.
C's Candy, Rouge Designs,
Their parents.
Bud K.
Violet Sparks or what was it? Yeah, Bud K. What was it? Bud K.
C's Candy,
C's Candy.
Rouge Design,
What was the flowers? 1-800-Flowers or
Pro Flowers.
Pro Flowers.
One time
Really?
Stamps.com.
till everybody got mad at us.
Again?
We had stamps.com for what, 2 weeks? I think it was, or a month.
And they were like,
They got butt hurt.
What'd you say?
I don't know.
Normal stuff?
Normal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, normal stuff.
Hey, my dad just sent me a picture. Apparently, there's a thing called Breckenridge Farms, and they have kosher dill pickles.
Well,
Maybe maybe y'all will get this. He goes, "Saw your picture on Facebook with your new look. Thought of the song 'Almost Cut My Hair' by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, except the fact that you actually cut your hair." I'm not sure if that was like a big song of theirs or something.
you ready? You guys ready?
Whenever, excuse me.
We'll get this going for you. Are you training tonight too?
No.
Oh,
But I
okay.
just got to go home and go to sleep so I can be up.
Oh,
That's
that's
why,
what it is.
That's why I brought it an hour early. I was like,
Okay.
by the time we're done, it'll be like 9 if we did it that way.
What? Check it. What? Check 1, 2.
How come that's not coming up?
Should be done before that. Before 9.
There we
Well,
go.
We're definitely going to be
Should
done
be about
before 9.
8.
Yeah. But if we
Hopefully.
got to start at our normal
Yeah, we should
time,
be up. Yeah, if we start our normal time, you get
It'd
home
be,
at 10:30.
way
11.
late. Don't you live out fucking BFE too?
No.
I thought you lived out in the like.
You're in the middle of it all,
Yeah.
the party zone.
I wouldn't say the
This is
party.
that's going to distract me.
Party
This whole
City,
show.
you-
I'm slightly
USA.
off. We can hit, yeah,
No, you can keep it on.
Oh, okay.
It's just it's going to be a
Playing
constant.
through everything?
Yeah. And I'm all fucking. My serotonin levels are so low. Fucking partied way too much all weekend.
Oh, what'd you do? What drugs did you do?
You name it.
It's just all the alcohol and
Oh.
edibles. Didn't really do any hard drugs.
Sound like you did a bunch of ecstasy or something.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Sounds like you got the
No,
low-
your
you got the
serotonin
low
levels
T.
go. Your
Just admit it, you got the
serotonin
low
levels
T.
go crazy too when you drink way too much too.
Really?
That's why you get that anxiety. You get that hangover anxiety like your second day. Like I didn't even go to work yesterday.
Well,
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't go to work yesterday.
how's it going, YouTube?
Was yesterday a holiday and I didn't know about it?
No,
No.
I
Just
haven't
everybody was
worked in 3
depressed.
months. So
Nobody has a job anymore.
Friday's a holiday.
That's it. It's Juneteenth.
Yeah, that's Friday.
It's the blackest holiday in this country right now.
What about
Is it?
Black Friday?
That doesn't count.
Is it blacker than Martin Luther King?
I would say now it's starting to be.
What?
I guess so.
What?
Now, right now in this
what
climate.
is June? What?
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
It's black.
Dude, I'm
I
thinking.
told you the time I got my shit.
I got
jumped when
a
wished
theory.
Wished a happy Martin Luther King Day to these two black ladies at my apartment complex.
You got jumped,
They almost kicked my ass. They thought I was being funny.
and you were like, "No."
I was like, no. And I had 2 cases of beer. And I was walking up to my buddy's apartment. And I was like, hey, well, happy Martin Luther King Day. And they did not think it was funny at all.
I don't.
They didn't
think
like
you
that at
should've
all.
said that.
No, I don't. Well, yeah, looking back
Shit.
at it now, that probably was a smart act. Because I was just trying to see if they would talk to me and come party with us and stuff. But
Only if you had like a
wasn't-
Martin Luther King shirt.
They got a
I think it's the
Pantera
only way
shirt
you
on.
could even say that, because then you're like, oh shit, that guy actually is backing up. He knows what's going on. He's got
going all the
MLK
way.
Jr.
I'm
on
pretty
his shirt.
sure it was a Pantera shirt.
Not
don't.
the-
No,
We'll get this
I was
all
like-
out before we start the show. You remember when Gadzooks or Fast Forward used to sell Malcolm X shirts, and you'd see just
Yeah.
white kids wearing around Malcolm X shirts,
Yeah.
not knowing what the hell it was. Or
Yeah.
look at this shirt; it's got a big X on it. It's
Was
badass."
was it like real Malcolm X or Denzel Malcolm X?
It was the real.
That
one.
was real.
Okay,
was the
well,
real one
because
for
I
a
saw now this the context could have been out of context, but someone got a tattoo of Denzel as Malcolm X.
But she played him and
yeah,
looked
yeah,
just
no,
like him.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it looked pretty close.
but I think it was just. I'm like you
So,
you
here was the
and or
thing.
the tattoo
There you
artist
go.
fucked up.
I know
right.
you saw this.
Most of them changes there.
This was always the classic one when the Malcolm X shirts were going around, was when the racist people would wear the "You got your X, I got mine" and have the stars and bars. And you're like,
Oh,
you
I
fucking
never saw
idiot.
that.
Oh, dude, in Arlington, you never saw
Can I get
that?
it a little down in my headphones.
Well,
Just a little bit?
Am I? Do
I've
I
only,
control his?
No, I got his.
Okay.
I
There
didn't
we
grow
go.
up
There
in
we go.
Arlington,
Appreciate it.
and I've only lived in Arlington for like almost 10 years.
Yeah, that was something you would see in South Arlington all the time.
Oh, see, I don't
It's
know.
like, you can, especially Mansfield, getting close to there, 287.
I don't fucks with Mansfield. So.
Yeah. You can wear your ex, I can wear mine.
Stupid.
Jesus.
All right, let's start it. Ready?
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
I am loving some Malcolm X audio I'm hearing on some podcasts lately. And talk about white liberals.
I'm not ready.
Are you not?
No, I can catch on, though. Just my computer's being slow.
Why are you looking around, man? I don't know who you banged or not.
I will eat your ass.
We got a
Okay,
new one. We got a
fine.
new
It'll
one.
be a three-way.
This episode of the
Last Kicker
is brought to you by
Guys note.
Hey, what the
And
new
Victor
Does that still
Wrench.
get nudes?
and Plastic Objects.
This
Yeah, every
program
once in a while.
contains
Oh, nice.
graphic
Yeah.
material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
That's my rap
Hey, slow down. Yeah, what's
from
up?
a few days
Hey,
ago.
What'd you just say?
What'd you just say?
When? Just now, man, when you walked past. What'd you say? About what? You said someone's toking some reefer.
No, I said something about smelling some pot. It's just an observation.
Oh, an observation, huh? Well, who the hell are you, man? Isaac fucking Newton? Well, guess what, genius? I'm the one smoking marijuana, motherfucker. You got a problem with that?
No, of course not.
Oh, why'd you say that, Chief? Come on, man. Don't let your mouth try to check your butt can't
Can't
count.
say
bro.
that anymore,
I'm
can
blazing
you?
with my friends, so I'm a fucking pothead, man. What's it to you, huh? Huh? What's the matter, pussy?
Then you
Out of
play the
observation?
teacher later on
Once
down
you
the road.
observe, I'll punch your teeth down your fucking throat. Come on, dude.
Relax.
Whoa, relax, bro.
Only come here, dude.
Hey, I'll be watching you, Newton. I only came here to do two things, man. Kick some ass and drink some beer.
What about
It's
the
like
other
we're almost
things?
out of
What about
beer.
vagina?
His priorities weren't straight, were
They
they?
were not straight at all. Oh, we're gonna start off with. All right, I'm not saying this.
What I like it.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
This is a jam.
It's jam.
Yeah, it's your boy Dr. A. Live runs for life. Cook in.
Yeah.
Juma Spears. Coming to Hamura. No, Toma. 俺らが騒がすオールオーバーザワー東京西多摩からフォトワースこのフォーカス東京テキサスフォーカス
Work that wood grain wheel. Sipping seals, leaning off the seats, that's steel. You wish for it, don't it? You gotta grind for it. Sweat blood, gotta pour it. Cause I wore it. I remain with the players, plus these. So don't make you feel silly, you really will still be investigating. Propagating for the penetrating, no chance for the weighing. Top back or circumcised. Who's doper than these guys? Bottom till it's knee high. Rocking something better than Levi's.
What's the cut of my dick have to do with anything?
Top back uncircumcised.
Looking for the feminine. And look at how we sin again. When I took the pen in there, leave the black like melanin. About to spit the melanin. Boy, we ain't kin. That's the end. That's the fin. That's the end, baby. Boy, Southside, baby. 俺らが騒がす時をボートはHey yo, hey yo. 俺らが騒がす時をボートはHey yo, hey yo.
It is show 374. It is Tuesday, 6/16/20.
Oh Lord.
I think that means June 16th, 20.
Hey, we got our our car insurance quote. Did you check the email?
I have not. Are they going to cover us
Just go ahead and
all
get
the way
this out of
through
the
it?
way. We got 6 months at $378.92 for 6 months.
That's
that-
not bad.
That's
That's
a
not bad
Jerry
at all.
Jonestown Massacre quotes made specifically and personally for us.
Since it's this episode, do we all qualify for it?
Yeah.
Can all four of us fall down? We can't.
Nationwide rape
Get
me, man.
Yes. We can split that up. What's that?
I
It's
mean,
like 50
what
bucks
car
each,
are
75
we
bucks
covering?
each.
I don't know. It doesn't really say. It just says
I
that
don't know.
the Jerry Jonestown Massacre. We get car insurance for $378.92 for 6 months, which should be getting us close to $15.75 a month. I love these personal quotes that we get.
Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Happy Tuesday, carinsurance.net.
Oh, you're just going to plug them right off the bat? They're not paying us.
No shit. Well, should leave us the fuck alone.
No kidding. Happy Tuesday, Brian?
Yeah, I'm still Brian.
Brian,
Are
happy
you,
Tuesday.
Are you still Brian? Did you
Yeah.
lose any superpowers when you
No,
lost
just,
your hair? You're like
I
Samson.
lost 10 years. when
You
I
do look
when I
rather
shave my
young.
beard, and in the rare times I get a haircut, I look younger. And I'm 36, but what's great is I need to find a way to really. It doesn't matter how old a man is. Like a man's not trying to look younger, but I'm like
Yeah.
I do look younger when I get a haircut, a drastic haircut, or shave my beard. I want to find a way to use that to my advantage.
Is that kind of like when you slick the hair of a 14-year-old girl?
What?
What?
Already?
You're all
Jeez.
coming out the gate
Right out the gate.
in a problematic area. All right, I don't. I'm just,
I'm always going to quote that joke because it was the most shocking thing I've ever heard.
Jeez.
And I was on my softball team. I don't know if that guy's still in public, like if he's in the public anymore.
look him up. He's probably in a public database now. If
Yeah.
he's- What did he say? What about
Huh?
14-year-old girls?
So we were about to play a softball game. And this team was
Okay.
pretty rough. Like we'd been kicked out of the how beer league or what's it called, softball world right down the road
Yeah.
where all the beer leagues play.
Yeah.
We got kicked out of there twice.
Wow.
And one year we just got let back in because we had a bottle of moonshine that busted in the dugout.
Wow.
And one of the first seasons, this guy comes up to me and says, "Man, you know what the greatest thing about a 14-year-old girl is?" And I was like, "Oh God, I don't even know if I want to get into this." And I was like, "Huh?" And he's like, "You slick their hair back, they look like a 14-year-old boy." And I was like,
Wow.
Did that get y'all kicked
"Do
out?
I laugh at this?"
Yeah.
It was kind of like when that guy
That
came
puts
on
you in
our
a weird
show.
spot.
Yeah, when someone cuts a pedophile joke
And you're like,
That reminds
at a
me
public
of
field.
when I worked at a movie theater. When I first heard my buddy told me my first ever dead baby joke. I remember like we were ushers.
I
We're
remember
cleaning
my
theaters
first dead
together.
baby
It's just
joke.
me and him. And I was like 16, 17 at the time. I know I was joking around with my friends, but it never got that dark. I didn't know that dark existed. You know, from all the movies
Yeah.
you've seen, like nothing really ever gets that dark and stays that dark. And
Well, Dustin has a few
we're cleaning theaters.
good ones he likes
and he
to
tells
do.
me, I like just like one of your stock dead baby jokes. And I remember
Your
yeah,
default.
because
Your
there's
the
so
default.
many. There's so many, and you could just pick one, like the pitchfork one, bowling
What's
balls.
the
or
which
just-
one was it?
I want to say maybe it's like what's the difference between like a bowling ball and a pile of dead babies or something. It's like or something like about putting them in the how many you can fit in your trunk or something like that. Just the most.
wow.
Just I don't remember the order, but like he told me that, and I was just like I remember having so we had broom and dustpan. You clean in the theater, and he told me that, and I remember just like like my body was like my brain was consuming it, trying to digest it. I
Yeah.
remember having the broom handle and like hitting the wall.
We
like,
should get
not in disgust, but my just like how my body reacted. I was like
You should get-
and then I was just like, that's really funny.
can do
This
that
is
type
what
of
our
joke.
Yeah, you could
relationship
get-
is grounded on now, of us just saying the darkest shit ever.
You should get
And-
shirts that say like Brian Breckenridge on the back and the front's like, "Please don't tell me pedophile jokes."
No, I'm not.
No.
I think it'd be good for publicity and
No, it
stuff.
wouldn't.
No, we're not.
So back to
You have
introductions.
no clout for marketing purposes.
Yeah.
no?
Your marketing ploys are
Genius.
they're great for this show.
Yeah,
Not,
not for
anything
actual
else.
people that
Yeah.
want to have a career in
Yeah.
anything
Not
professional.
for actual people.
They're good
Joining
for
us
inmates.
for the first time in a long time, straight from Japan.
But not straight from Japan, because that was months ago. That was before the pandemic.
I've been trying to get a hold of you for weeks, and
Yeah.
finally ran into you Saturday night at the summer job show.
Yeah, those guys suck.
It's terrible.
No.
No, it was a fun night to get out and see some music again.
Yeah.
It was a good time
Where was that at?
at Mass.
Mass.
Oh, okay.
Juma.
I like how there's live
Spears.
streaming stuff at Mass now. They should just keep on live streaming shit forever.
I was talking to Mark about that when I was up there, and he said he doesn't think it's ever going to go away now.
I mean, why would it?
What, the COVID or the live streaming?
The live
Both.
streaming, the live
Both.
streaming, because it's very weird if we talk about that night. You know, Mass has been offering shows with tickets,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess that hasn't been going over too great
Why? Nobody wants
because
to come
no
out.
one wants to go out. So
Right.
now they're just kind of like, because the summer job show was ticketed and you
Yeah.
had to be on a list and everything
Yeah,
to get
they
in
only
there.
sold like a couple.
And then they turned it into free just to get people in there because people are still scared. And I mean, I guess rightly so. Numbers are still going up,
I would say so. Yeah, they're going crazy up,
way up.
like crazy up.
If you believe media, what they tell you.
Oh, yeah.
What media? Which media?
I don't know. But it was fun watching today. our governor Wheels of Steel and Clay Cooley.
Are they still sparring?
They're fighting.
Not Clay Cooley. Don't put him in that. Clay Cooley will whoop all their
The
asses.
car guy?
Yeah, he'll come
No,
with
no.
an ass whoop.
The
Clay Cooley Fuller.
the judge over in
Clay
Dallas,
Cooley.
Clay.
I will beat
Oh.
your
Clay
ass.
Jenkins.
Oh, Jenkins. Okay.
Clay Jenkins.
I'm
the
out on all this.
the
I don't
Tarrant
know
County.
any of
Clay
this.
Jenkins still sounds
They're
like he
fighting over
owns
masks.
5 car dealerships.
He's the Tarrant County,
Like,
or not the
physically?
Dallas County, like the
Some judge. Yeah,
mayor.
right.
Yeah, judge. Yeah, he's the judge, like the big judge of Dallas County, which makes him like the mayor of Dallas County, right?
He's over mayor.
Yeah, he's
he
over
has-
mayor.
He has federal control, I think.
Is it federal?
Once you're a county judge, I think you're the federal level, right?
Yeah.
Considered federal level.
For
but-
some, if someone fucked someone's wife. Something happened
yeah,
here.
something. Dale Hansen was involved, and so was Clarice Tinsley.
Yeah, something happened
and it
because
just-
they've been
Wait, what?
sparring since this whole thing's been going on. If anyone needs to
I
have
thought
a
Jenkins
celebrity
was
death
the,
match,
was the good guy. Or at
but that'd be
least-
hard.
Who knows? I don't trust anybody. So, fuck that.
It'd be like Murder Ball, kind of.
Yeah,
Except you.
they can't fight.
Yeah, 'cause it'd be like Murder
The governor's
Ball.
in a wheelchair,
Oh,
and Clay Jenkins has full control of every limb.
Yeah.
So it's
So
not
it'd
really
be
fair.
disadvantage to Wheels of
why is the governor
Fortune
in a
and
wheelchair?
Glory.
Is he just like that?
A tree fell on him
What
He's
year was
paralyzed.
this?
You ableist.
like 15 years ago.
Holy
Is
crap.
that really what happened? A tree fell on him, or I thought he was in a car wreck.
I thought he was
Or
out
jumped
running,
in
and
a-
a tree fell on him.
What was he running in? Like a hurricane? I'm just saying. Like he must
That's a
not.
good question.
He must not have been running very fast.
Was
I mean,
there a severe thunderstorm warning when he decided to go on his jog?
People listening, I'm getting messages from everywhere. Let's see.
Oh,
No, that's not what it is. Why is Governor Clay Abbott in a wheelchair while
Greg
out
Abbott.
running? Greg Abbott,
Okay,
sorry.
so you're right.
While out running, a large oak tree along the path cracked and fell on Governor Abbott's back.
Damn.
So he didn't step on a crack and break his mother's back,
well, that was an unnecessary joke. You know, that one was horrible.
leaving him forever paralyzed from the waist down.
Man, I would just be like, man, hey, man, take me on out the game because I need to use my penis.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, it's Jenkins that
Hey,
fucked Abbott's
still have a
wife,
tongue?
right?
You still have hands?
That's not enough.
That's obviously what
That
happened
is
because
nowhere
if he can't,
near
if he-
enough.
well, I don't know, man. Well, does it say anywhere if he has still usage of his dong? Like, do we know that?
I mean,
Because
I
more than
highly doubt
likely,
this is gonna
more
be
than
public.
likely, it's got to. If that's the case, then it's Clay Jenkins that
You know what
banged
sucks
Greg
about
Abbott's
this?
wife.
Is
Is
that
this
he
a real
was
scandal you're talking about? 'Cause I
This is
don't
real.
think it is.
This is real.
he
Somebody-
was
Yeah,
he
they've
was
been fighting.
taking a break from studying for the bar exam. He was 26 years old when he lost his dick privileges.
Oh no!
So we're going with
That
it.
was prime time.
no.
Damn.
No wonder he's so
bitter.
bitter and angry. So it says the doctors worked to piece his vertebrae back together. They inserted 2 steel rods near his spine, will remain there for the rest of his life. It said
So-
nothing in here about his on. This is on his website, but there's nothing in here about if his penis works.
Of course. Why would he tell you that? Why would he
Well,
tell you?
Because everybody wants to know.
No, and I mean, most people kind of get it. If you're paralyzed, you can't use your penis.
Vote for me. My dick doesn't work, so I have more time to devote to the state of Texas. Like,
Yeah.
that's a great policy point.
Well, you put in, does Greg Abbott's penis work? And it says Texas just banned unsolicited dick pics. So
Yeah, there you go. But you got a weird search history, don't you?
it's very weird.
Yeah, but you got this awkward ass list that you have to explain. Wait a minute, guys.
So anyway,
Yeah, for sure. We're the two guys that if one of us dies, we're immediately going to that house. Give me his cell phone. Give me his all his computers on everything. Actually, I'd just come out here and burn the whole place
How
down.
many
Probably.
people are texting you right now? Are you just getting blown up right now?
well, it's people that want to defend Greg Abbott. And his
Already?
penis.
We're
Why are we
already
grabbing-
started
who's,
right now?
who's defending Greg
No
Abbott?
one's defending him. Being
All
a
the people-
smart ass.
A lot of most of Texas because he's got voted in, man. You get outside your
He's-
own. Everybody needs to get outside their own head and realize that there's a lot of America you are not tapped into, and that's why a lot of politicians.
We're gonna make
win
fun
votes.
of them too. They all get.
Oh,
they
I
all
which
get.
one
it.
do
make
y'all
fun
think?
of them,
Hey,
but
real quick,
I
which-
hate how people don't. They pretend they get so fucking
Which
angry
one of those would be
as to
best
like why
mix
people
with
got
lemonade?
voted into office because they don't think that a certain segment
What kind
of
of bourbon is
society
that?
exists when they
Weller?
obviously
Okay.
do, and that's why things have been the way they are for a long goddamn time. And everybody has their own personal utopia they want, but it's a futile gesture.
Is it
And-
one in a wheelchair
what?
after a tree fell on you?
Maybe, but like enough people
That's a
voted for
weird
Greg
utopia.
Abbott to become governor.
It's horrible.
And everybody, like people, instead of people live in their bubbles and they refuse to acknowledge anything
No,
outside
I have a
their
straight
bubble.
up reason that I don't like Greg Abbott,
that-
and that's
that's
called
fine.
child support out the fucking ass.
That's fine. No,
And how
have
I
your
get raped
grievances
every month.
I just hate when people
Because
are
of him.
appalled that enough people can vote for any politician. When I'm like, do you not realize that you associate with 0.01 point? You don't associate with all of society.
Yeah,
You
Rights
are
and drinks is so
you
serious right
personally
now.
create a bubble.
Give me that lemonade, bro.
I
inside
hate
social media, outside social media, but you need to I hate when people don't want to live in the real world.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, you mean what?
Put
Half-
out your voice,
75% of
vote.
the people on Facebook.
Yeah.
but also realize that there is a lot of people you'll never know, and that's why people are empowered the way they are, because a lot of people don't agree with you on shit, but you'll never know them. And I don't try to live in a utopia, because that's awful. That leads to totalitarianism. Like, that's a terrible pathway for everyone. When they're like, I want the world to be perfect. I'm like, well, the perfect is the enemy of the good, and you're inviting apocalypse when you do that. And so I hate when people.
So you're not in the one world order.
What? No,
Who would
it's
be?
terrible.
But you were saying something important. What is
Yeah.
it? Child support?
He's never said.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
here's the
When he
thing.
was the attorney
Oh, he has
general,
kids, I guess that's-
when he was the attorney general, he decided that no matter what, he's just very unfair to the males.
Look, that's what I was trying to tell.
He's very unfair to
I
the
think
males.
we kind of had this
Like,
conversation at mass.
I would
a
rather
little
them
bit.
just allow alimony and just, instead of disguising it as us, because you gotta keep the insurance.
Mhm.
You gotta have this ridiculous amount of your check taken out for kids that you never wanted anyway.
Oh,
Whoa.
Damn. I
Just
mean,
kidding.
he's
That's a
probably
joke.
on point.
So you have
That's a joke.
a life of
I
mistakes.
bet Greg Abbott's on the side of personal responsibility. Condoms that you could have worn.
His penis doesn't work.
Oh,
No,
That's right.
I'm talking about Matt here, because
Oh.
he's shitting on his own kids.
Look,
that he
but
doesn't
we had
want
this
to take care of.
conversation, I think, when we were talking about people in my
Child
generation and
support's
lower,
worthless.
they're not really doing much.
Yeah.
A lot of that, the job market's not that great.
Mhm.
Like, technically, I am 27 now, so I'm supposed to be nearing my peak earning years.
And peak
That-
penis years.
Yeah, that's
Peak penis years.
the penis year's working
I think
out.
that's
You
like
got
18.
You
Yeah.
know, the penis year's working out, but the money thing, not so great. I mean, it's just now starting to roll in. Like, rap after 10 years is finally starting to pay off. So it takes a
Well,
decade.
you're ahead
Well,
of the
it's taken
game, man.
over. It's killed every other music genre out there. It's
Well,
the biggest music genre
I think they
going.
keep copying it. Like, when I hear even pop music, country music, they're always using this trappy, trap related
Trap
stuff.
is in everything.
It,
It really is.
But it's just that's not our
It's
fault.
insane.
If
Not-
you're a
I
country
blame you.
He's not in
music star,
grindcore yet.
you don't.
I'm
have
sure
to,
there's got to be a
to have an
grindcore trap.
808
point.
and
So here's the
The freaking
Even
the country
even
music,
trap
new
doesn't
country,
want to.
oof.
Even trap doesn't want to associate with grindcore, because it's like, you
It
guys
might.
don't even shower. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
so here's the big question.
Yeah.
Old Town Road.
It's
terrible.
fine.
No, that song.
No,
was
I'm
horrible.
not saying what do you mean? In what sense do I like it? Not really. I mean, it's catchy. I saw
Oh,
why
it's
it was
catchy as
popular.
fuck.
There's
But
been
That's
some
all
new
it
ones
needs to
that
be.
are.
But it won
Oh, the
a
truck
won a
song?
CMA. That's crazy.
I wouldn't. See, that's a weird one. I don't
I-
say it's country.
I love it.
I wouldn't
That's
say it's country. I
hilarious.
say
Do
it's
you, wait,
hip-hop,
you're not
personally.
you're not disagreeing that trap has been hijacked by
Absolutely, white
every
people.
single
No,
yeah
trap
it's
is in
completely-
everything.
I
That's
know.
what we're good at.
I mean,
We're good at
trap's like-
hijacking
This
shit.
is white folks.
Nickelodeon the shows have trap music now
You listen to modern
Yes,
metal,
it
and there's
does.
There's
there's
trap.
a trap break.
somewhere in there.
Now, just why?
Why? There doesn't need to be
Trap
any.
money.
It used to be a big, down tempo break.
Yeah.
Bob your head. Now it's a trap break.
Absolutely.
You're like, why? Why? I don't need.
You know
this.
what? I don't give a
You're
damn.
waiting
for-
I'd rather hear
You're
trap
waiting for
music.
Migos to hop on the track. It's
Is
like,
trap
yeah,
the
Migos.
breakdown of rap? Like,
No,
I
it's
love
that-
hardcore metal.
It's a subgenre
Yeah, it's
that
a
has taken
subgenre.
over right now, and I think it's already started to die out because there is definitely
Like
those
Drake
people
and,
who have
and Wheezy made
a
it.
very mundane. There's a
Overplayed.
formulaic way to make
Yeah,
a trap song.
Yeah.
And I think it's starting to.
Where'd it come from?
It'll switch. Where did it start?
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we can do this because I've actually lived through every form of trap. All right,
Okay,
so
please,
this
yes,
actually
this is-
goes back way further than people think. People would think like Migos or Atlanta. I think-
UGK.
I think it really started personally, and a lot of people would disagree with me, but I think it starts with 3 6 Mafia.
And 3 6
because they had a
Mafia for
lot
sure.
of those trappy snares.
Yep,
they
they
were
did.
hitting hard. Those grimy lyrics. Now they didn't call it that. They called it crunk, but those elements
Yeah.
already existed. Atlanta is the one that coined it and developed it.
Even the
between
Beastie
T.I.,
Boys had
Gucci Mane.
that song
That's
that
Atlanta
that
shit.
Madonna sampled. That doom, doom. The on License to Ill, there was a break that
That's when
they
you know
played,
something's not cool anymore.
and Madonna used it
sampling
for a
you,
while.
move
But
on.
all
Yeah.
That was-
Beastie
that was
Boys
used.
sampled nothing but Led Zeppelin on that. So
Not that one. That song was a straight up trap song. That's when I remember
License to
trap.
Ill?
Yeah, no, not that song. There's one song. We'll have to look it up after
Yeah.
the show. But there's a music break where it's like a 30-second music break, and it's total trap. And it Madonna used it for "Justify My Love" or some one of her songs that was big. She used it, and but it
Yeah,
was
she
originally
slowed
the
it way
Beastie
down.
Boys that I heard it on. But that was trap.
Yeah, so I mean, it goes back. Elements of it existed, but I think early to mid 2000s between Gucci Mane and Ti. If you remember any of those songs, like Gucci Mane,
Yeah.
like that
T.I.
was,
was all
that's
over it.
when, and it also like the culture. It was a lot of mixtapes, so the beats were made quickly. You had everyone from Zaytoven to some other producers that were making those records, and then it kind of morphed a little bit. And it was like Waka Flocka Flame. Waka Flocka Flame, when he came out, it was like 2010.
Like,
People hated him so much. When I think it's like, I thought it was like a perfect evolution of it because the lyrics went down. It was all about the
production
beats.
went up. Yeah,
It was very, very loud, which is what people still use today.
Yeah.
And they hated on him. They shat on him. And after he
Shat on him.
kind of like faded out, there was other people. Amigos came out and they kind of just kept it going. So it's like a subgenre. But I do think at some point, just like the golden era stuff, it has to
Gonna go
crunk.
away.
It has to stop. I don't know what the next
So,
sound is.
if
But it
all
has
hell
to end.
breaks loose and we get a time machine, we need to go to Atlanta and just start knocking people off.
Well,
in 3-6.
good luck because those guys. Are,
No, it
like
was all
3-6. Oh no, I wouldn't mess with 3-6.
No.
I saw a recent Crunchy Black interview. Man, that guy's so hood. He's been shot so many times. All he talks about is like, I'd knock somebody off of DJ Paul right now. I'm like, you're 50 something. You should probably stop talking like that. Like, you should stop talking like
Wasn't he the one that gave 50 shit for getting shot so many times? He's like, you haven't even tasted lead
that.
yet.
I don't even remember. Man, everyone's like 50 Cent has so many beefs. 50 Cent's like a hilarious character. Like he's just hilarious. He just beefs with everybody. Like he has so many beefs. He doesn't even remember them. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Wasn't he?
He's
Isn't
too
he-
rich to
is he
remember all
managing?
that shit.
Wasn't he managing boxing for a little bit?
With Floyd.
It was.
I think he was around it at least.
Oh,
with
he
Floyd.
was?
Then they started beefing.
Yeah.
In fact,
Floyd
it
he'll
was
beef with anyone.
it was
but
50 that basically told the world that Floyd can't read. I don't know if he's fixed that. I don't know if he's fixed that, but he was like, he said
That's
a tweet.
brutal.
They were beefing, and he was like, something you can't read or whatever. And everyone was like, what? And then the Breakfast Club, which is like Charlemagne the God and all them, they put out this promo where he's supposed to be reading the promo about like, good morning, this is the Breakfast Club, Angelique, yada yada yada, and he was just like, good morning, Angela, Charlotte. Hold up, let me start. He did that for like 5. They played it for 5 minutes. It was so awkward.
Shit.
But you know what it is? He's kind of even in his fighting style. He's kind of spastic. He stays back. And he's like
He's been hit in the head a lot.
Like that's just his personality. I don't think he
Not
really
as much
can't
like a
read.
heavyweight though. Like he's a great defensive fighter though.
Yeah, he never gets hit.
He tries not to get hit and just
And it works.
wins the
That's kind of like
decisions.
that's the point of boxing.
Yeah.
If that's in the rules, then that's a genius way of fighting. Yeah.
So do we want to transition to that?
What?
You come walking in a mask.
We can leave it alone. We can leave it alone.
You come walking in a
We'll
mask.
wait. We'll wait.
Hold
We'll
on.
wait. We'll move on. We'll wait.
Well,
I'll tell you
we'll do
later.
later?
I'll tell everyone later.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. But
when you walked into mass on Saturday night, I had to sit there and go, is that Juma?
I lost a lot of
is it?
weight. Yeah.
Holy crap.
I lost a lot of weight. Yeah.
You were standing at the bar. I saw your back. I was like, holy shit.
Nah.
He looks like he's getting into fighting shape. He's like, he's about to kick some ass.
Nah.
Jeffrey Lord.
Yeah.
You're
He's
gonna
up
fight
to the
him.
Lord.
I love Jeffrey Lord. I was sad when that's.
That's not what you were saying. No.
Don't fight Jeff.
I was
He's
just cracking
old.
jokes.
He's got a kid. He's a really nice
I
guy.
saw him a while ago. He seemed happy. Maybe he was lying. I don't know.
No, he is. We're going on an endeavor here in 2 weeks?
Oh, on the a trip?
Yeah, we're gonna go do some canoeing and kayaking
Yeah,
down the
y'all were
Brazos.
talking about that. Like
Yeah.
that you guys get together every year and you go out together and do white people shit.
There.
What? You can come out camping with us sometime.
In 2 weeks?
Not well. Do you want to come in 2 weeks?
What? No, I can't. And I have to. If it was next month, I could. Because then I'm gonna take a break. I'm actually gonna be taking some flights. I gotta go to
What?
Vegas.
You can fly now?
You can fly.
Oh.
And it's cheap. It's like $30 to Vegas, $35 to Portland. I got to get to Portland, and after that, I got to
Are
get
you
to Alaska.
sure you want to go to Portland?
At this point, hey man, I'm down with the shits.
I'm down with that.
You realize
So-
Portland is mostly whites.
Yeah.
Not
White
right
people
now.
that are allowed too much freedom, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, exactly. It'd be great up there. Like because they're not like country whites. They're like sipping tea and eating shroom.
My buddy
whites.
Josh
But
Johnson.
then they think they're
dirty
all
punk
hardcore.
rock skateboarding whites is what it is.
Josh Johnson had a great joke about living
About
in Portland, when he was working on a weed farm, and he was just like, "You saw all this was like years ago." He's like, "You saw all these Black Lives Matter signs." He's like, "Man, the only black people here are me and the Portland Trailblazers."
Yeah, they all play.
And
Wait,
so
they don't
all
have a
the
football team in
No,
No.
Oh man,
Oh,
They don't
it's
have
just the
they have a
Trailblazers.
they have a college team though, the Oregon Ducks. Or
Yeah,
something?
and
Yeah,
Oregon
yeah, yeah.
State too.
Yeah, they're
Oregon
pretty-
State
they're pretty
is
good.
in one professional team.
Speaking of that, I know we're transitioning weirdly, but some of the younger black college players in basketball, instead of going to like these big universities, now they're starting to pledge for like HBCUs and stuff. Like they're training players. They're like, well, we're the ones, and they're not paying them that much.
Yeah.
They're not paying them at all, really, in most places.
Well, you're not supposed to be paid at all.
Yeah, so they're just
So-
like. They're like, to hell with it. We're just gonna go to a black spot, and people are like starting to freak out. It's like a lot of like the 1 and 2 star recruits. They're like, we're just gonna go to play for black people now.
Do you know how badass it would be to see one of those schools in the Final Four just rip up the?
they
like,
would tear?
We're in.
But
We're
they
in. We're in
would
the.
murder the hell out. Like especially if LeBron's kid and Dwayne Wade's kid both go
Yes.
there too.
Holy shit!
It's just like if they just say, all right, we're all just gonna go to Brown or Spelman or something,
Yeah.
and just
Like
be done
Prairie
with it.
View A&M.
And all they
They
just
just
come
dominate.
out they just come out and just start murdering people. It's like, oh,
just like, oh shit, we made it into the dance.
It'd be like the
Let's
Dream
go.
Team. Like when the Dream Team
Yes.
first came in, like when they
Yeah.
all started allowing pros in the Olympics. That's exactly
I
how
would
it'd
love
be.
to see it because it'd be like a team like
It'd be
when
hilarious.
Gonzaga first got into the
Just get their
March Madness
asses
and
waxed
no,
by.
they just went all the way to the Final Four like the first year or whatever, and it's like, what the hell? Where'd this team come from?
yeah.
Well, Gonzaga's been around.
Yeah, but I'm talking
That's
about
right.
like when we were a kid, they hadn't been around.
Yeah,
I was showing my age.
yeah,
bit.
you were.
My bad.
Did you, man? That's funny that we just didn't have that. By the way, that we didn't have a
Yeah,
tournament.
no
and there
March
was no.
Madness,
Yeah,
no
we just kept on going.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's looking more. I'm trying to stay positive, but it's starting to look more and more like we're not having sports the rest of the year.
Well,
I'm starting to
well,
believe that it's not
especially-
I could
happening.
see them having
Football
football,
guys, they got-
to
yeah.
some degree.
This thing that came
Cowboys
out
just
with all
got
the
sick. A bunch of
yeah.
Cowboys are just
And
No,
tested
no, no.
positive.
They got
Texans are sick.
tested. Okay, well, here's this all. They got tested positive, but that also depends on what their symptoms were, what kind of they got tested positive. What's that even mean?
But the thing is,
If they don't go into
that's
detail
the
on that,
thing.
then we don't know. What the fuck
Right,
that
right,
means.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a big clusterfuck. That's why I don't
No
think
one
it's going to
knows.
happen.
There's not enough information.
I don't
So-
think it's going to
yeah.
happen, man.
I was listening to the ticket this morning, and they brought up the scenario of like, if the NFL does play, are they going to try to truck through it to where there could be some weeks where you have 10 people off the starting line sick,
That's a great
and they're
question.
in
That'd be
quarantine
horrible.
for like 2 weeks, and
Fantasy
you have
football is
these
gonna be
second
hard
and
this
third
year.
stringers come up and play.
Well, technically, if you
gonna
have any kind of
fuck up the
exposure with
season.
someone, you're supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. Like everyone that I know that's like in my business, if there's a GM that has a cook that tests positive, they're gone for 2 weeks. Like that's the protocol. 10 days, you're out. You can't do anything. So if they do that, all of a sudden you got this badass team that's missing
10
half
days.
its
I thought it
players.
was supposed to be
They're
14.
losing.
Is it a full 14?
It's
Yeah, I
14.
thought it was
That's what
14.
people are making. But also, it's like if someone's like test positive, but they're one of the mostly people that are like, yeah, I tested positive, like asymptomatic, or
That's the scary
it's-
ones.
Yeah.
Well,
Or the
fuck it, you have to
asymptomatic
live
ones.
with that. Like I don't get the flu, but my girlfriend's called me a carrier for years. When I'm like, okay, whatever, because she gets the flu like
You
twice a year.
dirty son
I
of
think
a
she was
bitch.
talking about like
I don't
Yeah,
know what
she's
that
talking
even
about
means,
AIDS.
but also she
Yeah.
works around. There's plenty of old people she
Clap.
works around, so I'm like, you've probably killed old people with your flu. But so like I don't know why. Like again, quarantining healthy people is not productive. If someone
well, no, they
tests
say it's
positive,
actually anti because you're not out in the elements being exposed to the stuff that's going on and building up your immune system.
yeah, you have to be out. Like I've been going for the past couple months. I go for walks, get my free vitamin D thanks to Mr. Sun, and then I try.
That's what I used to
eat
call my dick.
Healthy,
But that can
of
lead to
some kind of degree.
melanoma.
If somebody,
to check
and this
yourself
is
for
what
cancer.
sucks about the whole COVID thing. If somebody tests
You
positive,
could die any day at any moment.
people
Like, literally,
immediately
it's
think
that
you're on a
bad.
ventilator or you're like got a 103 fever in your bed. But I'm like like the first guy in the NBA that got it. Like as far as I know, he just tested positive and probably showed no symptom. Like you test positive and showed no
the
symptoms.
first guy? That was
The center for the
Rudy
Jazz.
Gobert.
Was that
Gobert. And
So
that's why it was hilarious because he was the one cracking the most
yeah,
jokes.
that's
He
what
was
rubbing-
acting
that
rubbing the
did
mind.
not
Acting a fool.
fucking help anything.
No, it
That's
did not
why
at
the
all.
He got his
NBA
teammates sick, and now Donovan.
Well, did he get them sick, or did they just get it and not like?
Who knows? But
and that's
he
what
was
sucks.
making fun of it. That's what
Oh,
makes
no,
it worse.
I know.
He
Yeah,
dug his
that did
own
not
grave
help
with
a
that. He
fucking
was
thing.
talking shit the whole way. Oh, I don't want to be sick.
Not
It's
touching
like,
this.
he's
That
the
press
first person to get
conference
it.
is funny as hell to watch because he tries to touch every surface he can as he's walking out,
Yeah,
being
that's
a
what-
smart ass, and then
and it's like
Again,
hey, Joe,
everything
That's
has
what
a
you got.
spectrum. Like, we've learned that gender and sexuality is a spectrum. Well, why not the COVID spectrum of like I've tested positive and I've exhibited no symptoms, and then it's like this person has a cough and this person has the cough and the fever. This person had to go to the hospital.
But you're thinking
This
of the first
person
line,
died.
though. You're thinking of the first line and not these athletes' fucking family. Like they got older people at home
Yeah.
and stuff. Like you got to think about
If
that.
you're an athlete,
it's not
you
that.
pay for them not to stay at home. You can afford
Well,
it.
yeah,
Well, I
okay.
think the
So
NBA's
then
in-
basically someone that is
also,
related to an athlete's going to be in
disease-
prison, at home prison now? You can't do that. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to happen, guys.
I don't know. They
I
got
just
giant
don't think-
houses. They could probably quarantine themselves off in a house my size.
Is
in one of
is
their
the NBA
wings.
still talking about doing the resort style?
They
thing?
are.
No, they are. They're gonna do.
They're going to do it
In
in
Orlando.
July, right?
Not all the players want to play. Damian Lillard's on the fence. Kyrie's already said he's protesting anyway.
Yeah.
Black
Not
Lives-
gonna do it?
He's not going to
But
do
there's
it.
complete teams that aren't even going to go because it doesn't matter to them.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. I think what's
Like
going to
the
end up
Chicago
happening, they're
Bulls?
going to
Come on,
attempt
man.
it. It's
You
going to
gotta respect.
collapse because of cases, and then that's going to be the end of it. That like baseball's not going to get their shit together.
Yeah,
The one where the
I
big
love
one,
baseball, but I'm at
They're
the
just
point
not
where I'm
getting
just
it.
like, just don't have a fucking season.
But you
That's
know
what
it
we're
starts
doing.
tomorrow, and
Well-
all eyes are on them.
the what EPL.
EPL starts
Yeah,
tomorrow. and
That's
goes
they're
through
going
this
to watch
weekend.
that, but they're also the big shoe. We're talking about the NFL. That's what everything's leading up to.
I mean,
because-
the NFL's the biggest in
And here's
America.
what's going to happen. Here's what I think's
The
going to
EPL's
happen.
the biggest in the world.
Right, exactly.
So
No, they're going to be watching. Everybody, the NFL is going to be watching the EPL too,
Yeah, to
and
see how
watching
they
to see
handle
how
it.
it goes. But here's what's going to happen. I think NBA is going to do this, roll out this thing, this thought out plan of doing the resort style play. It's not going to work for shit because people are going to get sick,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's going to shut it down
because
in the
it's
middle of it.
players that want to hang out with everybody. They've been cooped up
Well,
forever,
And
they
then
want to hang out
and
and, do
then-
stuff.
and
with
then-
their
then right
friends.
after
They're
that-
just friendly ass motherfuckers.
Then
They're all
after that,
friends.
yeah, exactly. But still, a lot like not even half of them even committed to saying they're going to do it yet. Everybody's still on the fence post.
Well, the big
So-
thing is LeBron. What did he say?
But he's still kind of iffy.
he said
he
he
said
didn't
if there's
want
no fans,
Mandarin.
he said if there's no fans, he's not
he
gonna
doesn't wanna
play.
He loves China.
So here's the deal. NFL's going to watch that shit show, and they're going to watch EPL, and they're going to make a decision. And I have a feeling they're going to be like, we just can't do this, man. It's not going to happen this season.
So I got to say one thing about watching sports that have no fans, especially like UFC.
Mhm.
It's fucking intense because
Yeah,
you can hear
all the hits.
every
Especially the
thing.
All
fights.
the hits sound so.
Yeah, those
much harder.
fights.
Even
Like,
even
there's like,
them,
she's like, oh,
Yeah.
even
oh,
taunting
you're
each
swinging
other.
like that.
Yeah, you can
them
hear 'em talking
taunting
shit. You can
them
hear 'em
talking
shit.
shit through their mouthpiece at each other is amazing.
Yeah, I can't
And they
wait till
beat the
Conor
shit
McGregor
out
has
of
a
each
fight.
other.
You know what sucks about all this is golf.
During all
done.
this.
Golf
He's done.
was besides
No, he's talking about
fans.
fighting.
Golf will
He
not be
tweeted the other day
affected
he's done.
Well, he
because
always
golf
does
can
that.
still be on TV, which pisses me off.
Well,
'cause I'm
even
just
John
like,
Jones.
God,
The first golf
Imagine
game was this
the
weekend.
shit that's going to be
Yeah.
talked.
my mom's husband was watching that. I'm just like, golf is like these guys are like, yeah, you might be able to like hit the drive the ball and not hear yeah, which has been allowed in the last like 7 years or something. But I'm like, these guys are playing the game exactly how they practice.
I'm getting
And
so
Well, like
many
in
much as-
college.
political
and I
texts
fucking
now.
hate golf,
You're getting
and I
texts?
hate
Like
that it's
political
going
ones.
to be
All day.
mostly
People
okay.
are attacking you again.
Did you?
No, like from politicians, like campaign text. Have you been getting a lot of them?
No, I haven't got any.
Not a single
dude.
one.
I
They know
blocked
my
my shit.
I got
demographic.
one from
They know the demographic I'm in. They're not interested.
Candace Owens, and then
They're
now I just got
after
one from a
you
Green Party.
right now.
Like the Green Party. This is
You're the
hi.
vote
This is
they
Robert
want.
and Debbie and Julie Oliver's campaign. The Green Party, or
How
for the new
green can
Green
the party
Deal.
be?
I got one from AOC. I got one from Candace Owens. Like I'm just getting. What do they think I'm? What? What? Am I big timing?
Yeah.
Like I get
Look-
text from
look who I get text from.
I got
So,
Trump texting me.
Three-way with Candace Owens and AOC. Are you doing it?
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
I think
Dustin?
AOC's
No,
hot.
I can't. Candace Owens disgusts me.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
hot.
No, but
No, but she ain't
she's
going to talk
fucking hot.
politics.
No, you shut her
This
mouth
is
up.
just a three-way.
Can't do it.
It's
man.
just a three-way. Politics aren't
crazy,
involved.
I don't.
AOC.
You just put a gag over her mouth.
I just can't do it.
I'm in on both.
She's such a foul. She almost reminds me of like Stacey Dash. You know Stacey Dash, like
Fake black.
beautiful as hell. But like the moment she opens her mouth, you're just like, ugh.
The Stacey was that way.
When Dame Dash,
yeah.
your own family's like, I don't know what's with
Yeah.
her. I don't claim her no more. Like,
I
it's
find
that
that
bad.
shit hilarious.
It's
It
like,
is hilarious.
I just
Because
can't. I can't do it, man.
It
What's
proves
wrong with you?
No,
I
it's
love
totally wrong.
black, non-white conservative Trump supporters because to me that proves that the progressive side of
I
things
still can't remember what they're
isn't
called.
about diversity; it's about ideology, which I just love.
My
I'm
dick doesn't
as
play
long as
politics,
you
though.
are okay about that.
My dick is
Just
okay
be
with all
upfront about
politicians. All politics are good with my dick.
Well, I can't remember what they're called.
Not much isn't good with your dick.
What'd you say they were?
Dumb black folk.
So ADOS
Like, I'm never
is
saying that
American
shit, but-
descendants of slavery. Or African
But
descendants
also,
of
I
slavery.
love
but what
when
is when they
people
call
go
them?
against the norm
God
of
damn
like growing up. You're just kind of like
People
yeah,
of color.
Yeah, but
Most-
Candace Owens
That's
doesn't be
the
making
one that
sense.
the last
I know.
one that they
But
got
what about like Larry Elder?
that
the-
started getting
I don't
shitted
know who Larry
on.
Elding is.
You
Like
can't say that
old
anymore. I don't
black
think.
conservative,
The black people
Thomas
that are
Sowell.
leaving.
Mm.
The
Oh, like the
Democrats
other one,
becoming
they're a little bit
Republican.
older. I don't know. I
There,
have to
there
look
was
into
the
them.
hashtag walk away or whatever.
But it
We're
was
having
just,
two different.
I saw
conversations.
Candace Owens like on the Joe Rogan podcast a while ago.
Yeah.
She was on
And-
Joe
and-
Rogan.
and she was talking about climate
Bet she
change,
looked
and,
good.
and she was just sitting here talking about like, I just don't believe it exists. And Joe Rogan was just like, okay, so why don't you believe it exists? Just like, I don't know, just, you know, the weather, it just changes from day to day. Like climate's always changing. I just don't believe it. And she's just like, what about all the scientific evidence? It's like, you know.
And it makes you wonder
She was
how
just
she
so
got
horrible
there.
at explaining anything that even people in the comments who were like, honestly, I'm on her side, like of the like political spectrum, but that was hard to listen to because like she didn't say. She could tell she didn't know what she was saying. She was just saying shit.
Yeah.
Did you see her readout of the George Floyd, his arrest record, and how weird that was?
Yeah, everything she does is weird at this point.
She's-
Speaking of George,
Yeah, it was
Floyd,
like an 18-minute long video. I watched it, and it was just, one thing.
was
I don't
weird.
I'm not like a like I find Candace Owens entertaining because to me that's the epitome of diversity because it's like a black woman that is so conservative and so Trump because you want to talk about a minority, that's a fucking minority.
Yeah,
Because
kind of
I'm like,
is.
and I'm like, if
yeah, it
I've
is
always
a super
said-
minority.
I love
a
diversity,
super
and
minority.
is,
Woman
that's as diverse
conservative.
as it fucking gets.
Small point.
And that's what I like about Candace Owens because it's like, you know, I'm like, it bucks all these like stereotypes that, and I hate, you know, stereotypes they're fun to a degree, and then they become, it's like, hey, don't stereotype there. But that's what I find so entertaining about Candace Owens is that like, it goes against the whole, well, black people are supposed to be liberal. And I'm just like, hey, don't fucking assume shit about anybody.
Yeah.
And I hate when people do that about anything because I love diversity. And like, that's why I find what she says hilarious because it pisses so many
It pisses
people off. It's
Yes.
funny.
You said
What?
something. You were
It's
going
so
into
funny.
something.
About what?
George Floyd.
Oh yeah, George Floyd. All right. So the funny thing is, you know, just yesterday I got asked about George Floyd. I was at a restaurant.
For the first time ever?
Nah,
Since
by
all
your
this went
waiter
down?
or the
No,
host?
but I was at a Japanese restaurant, so like the chicks there know me, and they
Oh,
were
okay.
just like, "Did you know?" Because they know I'm a rapper, so they were like, "Did
They
you
asked
know
if you-
George Floyd?" And I was just like,
Did you know?
Not personally. I mean, he was in a screwed up clique. Like he was. Yeah, I heard his stuff
They asked
long
if you
before
knew
he
him?
was murdered. They asked me if like I knew him. Like, but she was so serious. You can't even be mad. She's like,
Well, he was from Houston.
yeah, like he
and
was
Yeah,
with
but
DJ
that-
Screw. He was
they
with
may
DJ
not
Screw.
know
So I
that.
heard his records
Yeah.
long before this happened. But you know, there's so many people that were for Houston that made money for a short period of time, and they just thought it was going to last forever. And then of course,
Yeah.
when Screw died, it all fell apart because he was the one putting on the shows. People were buying it.
He was Houston. The scene in
When
Houston
you
was
sold
him.
records.
I
he
didn't
was
even know
selling-
that. He was part of like, he was like,
Oh,
putting on
no.
shows and.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was in it doing
Oh,
free
wow, I
stuff.
did
Like
not
he's
even know
on
that.
great tapes and everything. Like he was an
Okay.
actual. He was totally legit. But when Screw died, that kind of all ended. But Lil Flip tells a story about how popular Screw was. He once sold at one show. He saw him and sold like a couple thousand like tapes. Great tapes, like just at a show, people come up and buy it. He had so many people come to his house, he had to get a gate installed, and he had to have a certain time where people could come in a like an actual store because cops were coming by. They thought he was selling dope. He was like,
Yeah.
they were
It's
just selling.
tapes.
It was that many people. He was that big. So yeah, I mean, I knew who he was, but it was just hilarious that somebody was like, "Did you know him personally?" Like, just because, man, come on, all rappers don't know each other.
Should've said yeah.
Like we were just
I
chilling.
just thought that was a blanket, like just someone being blanket, like kind of, you know, like not technically, you know, not overtly racist.
Just-
But I was just, I didn't even know about the
Oh,
rap
you're from
part.
Chicago. Do you know
Oh.
Obama?
Well, no.
Like,
I
type
was just
thing,
like,
like,
hey, you.
what? No,
No.
that
They
city's
may have known
huge.
Yeah,
you're
that
in the
place is
rap
huge.
scene.
I never
I
met
didn't
him
even
once.
realize he was that involved. And
Oh no, he
wow,
was deep.
okay.
He was making some cash, but once Screw died, only a couple could keep like zeros in the tray. They kept going, but most of those guys just kind of fell off. And they just went their own way, got normal jobs. That would be a motherfucker after doing all those kind
So
of
was
numbers
them
and that type
asking
of
you if
money.
you knew George Floyd? Like, kind of, did they know? Did they make that connection of like he was in
These
rap?
ladies
you're a
are
rapper?
100% from Japan.
You
They
shoulda
don't
just
know
come
better.
So it
You
was
know
just
Bruce Lee?
straight up.
That they were just
You're
so
black. He's black. Did you know?
they
him?
were naive as hell. They
Okay.
had no idea. But it's like, did you know George Floyd? He's like,
Shoulda said it.
She was like, right when I saw
Okay,
that George
okay.
Floyd was a rapper, I just thought of you instantly. I'm just like, I don't think
Well,
that's
that's
how that
Japan, and Japan is one of the most monolithic cultures you're gonna
Yes.
find on the
Yeah,
fucking
they don't know
planet.
enough, so I don't feel.
Especially first world monolithic.
I don't
Well,
feel
it's
bad.
an island that's as big as what, California?
Because when
right?
I was, you can fit 3 Japans in Texas alone.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, 3 whole of their country in Texas alone. So it's not nowhere near as big as
They live on
California.
top of each other.
Well,
over
so
there.
maybe they do all know each other.
Like in Japan, it's just like it's so like 98%, and people usually exaggerate with 98%, but it's the actual statistic. I think it's like 97 or 98% of the population is pure Japanese.
Yeah.
Even with all the foreigners that they think there's a lot of foreigners, I'm like, I was in Tokyo, and I literally, because they didn't understand that I could understand them. I heard people telling me, like young chicks, like early 20s, they were like, "This is the first black person I've ever seen in my life." And I'm in Tokyo, which is like New York City.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
And
those
that's
guys
crazy.
just don't know any better. So I
Isn't
just,
there?
all right,
Is
whatever.
it Japan that has a lot of racism too, or is that China?
dude,
All
of
Asian people
Asia
are
All
has
Asian.
racism.
All of Asia.
That's
They
one
all
thing I
hate
don't think
each
people
other.
realize about racism.
They do.
No, I'm
Dude.
specifically talking about black people.
It's
I think
not
it was
just them. They just-
Japan
They
or
just don't like. Well, oh, you mean the blackface and stuff?
yeah,
Yet
or
again,
just
they're
there's
so ignorant. There's no.
on
There's not enough
Reddit.
people around to be offended by
Yeah,
blackface.
this would be like, hey,
Right,
but like I
right.
saw an ad where it was just like this dude, like this chick in a little afro, and they had like
Oh,
she had the
wow.
blackface on, and she had like black in her nostrils. The paint.
Japan.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, and they were like, and it was the craziest type of ad though. It was just like a Coca-Cola ad, and I was just like, I read it, and at first
There's
I
no
was
way
like, what?
Coke was okay with
And
that.
it was just like Coca-Cola. It was like Coke, some type
Japanese.
of Coke, and I was just like, huh. Well, I should be offended, but I
Well,
can't.
wait,
'cause-
okay, wait. I
'cause
gotta stop you down. Are you sure it was a Coca-Cola
maybe not. It was a
ad, or was
Coke
it
ad. It was a Coke ad, so some type of Coke.
But it
literally-
wasn't Coca-Cola.
No, it wasn't
though.
Coca-Cola.
I was
But
gonna
it was
say,
just like
'cause-
Coke. It was
yeah,
just
I got
Coke.
you.
It's one of their sodas. Since you brought this up, does blackface offend you when you see it?
Not really.
No.
Not personally. I mean, not blackface doesn't offend me. Whiteface doesn't offend me. It's like as long as the context makes sense, like I'm fine with it personally. Now,
What if you're wearing
like the thing? I would never wear a dress.
what if you're wearing
I'll-
corpse paint
I'll tell you that. I mean, like
and like you're into death metal, and you're like, look at me, I've got black and white face.
I'm a skeleton.
I don't-
That's
That wouldn't bother
offensive to dead
But
people.
the only thing that's like really weird for me as a black man, it's like I wouldn't wear a dress. I just wouldn't do it. Like if like a movie or something like a skit in SNL, they're like wear a dress. I'd be like, no, I can't do that. I can't wear a dress, man. You know,
No, I can see that. I can see that.
Not me.
I can
That's
see
what's
that.
funny about like Japan is just like they can do that. Like it's nothing like something's not technically racist if there aren't enough or
Genie
any
boss.
people to be offended
Yeah.
by it.
So everyone
And
just
that-
ignores it.
And one thing like finding like a long time ago, finding out that how like racism works over in Asia and how like over here you can
It's so
talk
kind.
like
It's kind
well
racism.
like how was it like
I could. There's buildings I couldn't
like
get into it, but they were just
Chinese
they're
hate
just straight up, like,
Japanese.
they're just
like-
like no, like they hit you with that. Like there are some places like they'll say no foreigners on the sign, foreigners can't do this or that. But it's just like they're so polite and it's not violent. They're just like, we
But is
want
it
you to leave. We don't want to
any
hang you.
foreigner?
We just want you to leave, please.
So is
Well,
it
no,
like any
even
foreigner?
Any foreigners, and it's crazy.
What
'cause
kind
you
of buildings?
they're just some bars, restaurants. I mean, of course, like the whorehouses are different because that's just legal.
Whoa,
over
let's
there.
talk about this.
Okay, what do you want to know?
All right.
I mean, it's legal.
Well,
I mean,
let's get
it's-
to brass tacks here and let's talk about money real quick. How much?
Tentacles?
I don't know, man.
What's
I
the
wasn't
conversion
there.
rate?
I wasn't in
Is
there.
there a censorship
I
spot
was-
over their coochies?
Wasn't in there. No, I don't think so. I
Yeah,
don't think
if
it
you're
was.
banging a
like
Japanese
pixelated?
whore,
Is there
does
pixelated?
all of a sudden your crotch get pixelated?
I
Pixelated?
don't think so. I never
Wow,
had-
y'all's hologram technology is amazing.
Yeah.
I can't even see my own personal.
Well, here's how it
penetration.
is. I mean,
This
what I
great.
figured out about Asia, that's all through China, all through Southeast Asia, it's just so embedded in the culture. It's not a big deal. In fact, most of the men that I met over there that I was talking to, when you just ask them about it, because like they're just out in the open. They're not off to the side or hidden. You can just walk down there. In fact, the chick Just last night, one other chicks was talking about the restaurant. Was literally like, I'm from Nagoya, which is where it all really started. Like when I was a kid, like you'd be walking home from school, like with your mom, and it's just a whorehouse, just right there. They call them soaplands.
That's what I've heard.
And
all over Asia, it's
Soaplands?
just open.
Soaplands, because what they're supposed to do in there is they take you in there,
They'll give you a bath.
They come down there, and each one of them stands in front of you, bows, and you pick the one you like. And then I guess they take you up to the room and they wash you off to make sure you're all sweat. And then I did not have sex with the prostitute. So
why not? It's part of the culture.
That doesn't mean
How
I
dare
need to
you.
participate.
Next
with that. Yeah, next trip, definitely.
How dare you shun this culture
How do I
you
do-
went to visit?
But it's just like just like in Germany, they just have in the windows. It's so embedded that it doesn't mean anything. But a lot of the adult males, they were like, "Yeah, I've been there." It's like you haven't.
Well, I've also heard.
Like-
I've also heard that a lot of the businessmen
they do it a lot.
They do it a lot because it helps relieve tension.
Yes,
and a
What,
lot
you
of
think?
it's not really about the sex. It's more about the relaxation and the bath and
Absolutely.
everything, because they're under so much stress. Like we were talking the other night, about people, just passing out in the streets and stuff because
And
they
that
work
does happen.
their ass off.
If it's late enough at night and it's past last train, cause they run to like 1 or 2 a.m. But after that, it's last train, and unless you're gonna get a taxi, which is expensive as fuck in Japan, I mean you're done. So you can't go anywhere. You don't have a car. You don't have a train. So some dudes they either were at the bar too long and they got drunk and they just pass out or they're just too tired. And what the cops will do, they'll see them if they're in the middle of the street. They'll pick them up and move them over kindly to the sidewalk and leave them.
Yeah.
They don't rob them. They leave them. And they'll be up by the morning.
And I've also seen those
Passed
little,
out person ain't fucking with anybody.
Yeah,
So just
like,
leave them be.
leave
Get them
'em.
out of the street.
I've also seen
And,
those
yeah.
buildings where you can go rent like a little cube to lay in.
Like a capsule.
Yeah, a little capsule to go
hotel.
lay in.
Don't they
I
have
didn't
that at
spend
Google?
time in there, but they're pretty cheap. Those
They
are like
have that at Google.
Is that what you stayed in?
No, I used the Airbnb, and that was nice because I got to stay in a house in Hino, and it was on the hill. So I didn't do it on purpose, but this house, Japan's very hilly, and this area was super hilly. But like I was on the top part of this whole like area, so I was at it, and from the top of my window, you can literally look down and see like everything.
Oh,
Just from my window, it was great. It was so peaceful there, man. Like just walking down there, and every day I saw the kids like at school, and they would just stare at me because they're like they never seen a black person before. Me and this other white guy was Airbnb, and people would be like outside, and they'd be like, "The fuck?" And you just see it in their face, we're like, "Hi," and they'd be like, "It was like, oh god, oh, that's a person."
And they were all cool, like.
No one really. Everyone kind of left me alone. I mean, I didn't ask much questions. I mean, I don't think I looked too confused. There's only one time where I couldn't really speak enough. It's like when I get really, I found out when I get really exhausted and you're trying to speak into like, by the first night, I was so tired of running around doing the show and everything. Like there was a point where I was trying to speak and I couldn't do. Everything came out in English, but luckily we had they have one chick in the station that helped me. But yeah, I mean, other than that, though, I didn't have much problem. They do have some signs in English in Tokyo, but you get kind of into the rural areas, and it's just like, all right, so you can either speak or you can't, and that's just, it is what it is. No one's going to really try.
Wow.
But,
Google
it was
Translator,
great.
man.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
here.
for Japanese, Google Translate is not the best.
Doesn't-
It kind of sucks,
Yeah.
actually.
many.
Yeah.
Has
I
you
go
asking
stick
for
to,
like
where's your
black tar
where's your
heroin,
bathroom, food.
Yeah.
Probably
and you
keep it
accidentally
stuff.
say, "Where's the black tar heroin?"
There's a black tar heroin. That'd be hilarious.
The
Be like Vietnam.
I had a friend that went over to India. He's white, and it was reversed. Like he went to these villages to help them. They were building schools and stuff. And he said that some of the kids there, it was the first time they'd ever seen a white person.
Yeah.
And they'd walk up and be like,
They'd
they'd
touch
like
him.
touch him
They
and
want-
be like, and then they'd like rub his skin and be like, what's going on here?
What's wrong with
up?
you? You
Yeah.
sick? It's
What's
like,
wrong with you? And make sure he was
it's
all right.
crazy to me that some people are so out there that they literally have never seen anyone that doesn't look like them at all. Like from any
Like you
background.
could just, yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's just
that's the
like,
thing. It's
wow.
crazy. There's
Yeah.
places like that
Very
in
weird.
America.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's
That's
scary.
terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
that
I
you're so
love,
sheltered.
but also messed up about DFW is like how awesome and diverse it is, and with the whole like racial discussion, like me growing up in like Irving and living all and being in comedy in DFW, it's just kind of like, oh, y'all are just now talking about diversity. Like that's what I grew up in.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's pretty normal.
y'all
To
are.
me.
I have a friend that she is super woke now, and she's.
Dumb
I get it.
woke.
Super
I'm
I
woke.
get
dumb-
it. She's
dumb
doing
woke.
she's
Dumb
doing
woke.
her fucking best. But she grew up in Kansas. Super like far right relatives and all that. But it's like her super wokeness is kind of correcting for her like maybe she's atoning for her past and all
Yeah,
that.
for
But
being
it's
a
just like
jackass.
I grew up, in a divert like I was hanging out with like a buddy on 9/11 who's a Muslim Indian guy. He like on 9/11, he was getting called Osama, and I was next to him in gym class.
Why'd you call him that?
I did. I was smart enough not to back then because I'm like, man, that's fucked up, Saleh. Damn, that's. But guess what? Saleh was an amazing student, and I ran into him years later when I was just fucking around working at Best Buy, and he probably has a great job or got super radicalized. I don't know. He had reasons
Either
to
or.
hate people, but
Yeah.
he could have also have a great job. Now,
That sounds even more terrifying. He had reasons to just destroy everything.
But like to me,
people were
growing up
fucking
in
with him.
DFW and how diverse it is around here, especially like in Irving, where there's a lot of Indians, a lot of Pakistanis, a lot of if you go to gas stations, a lot of Nepalese people too. If you find someone you can't tell how Indian or Chinese they are, they're Nepalese.
Yeah,
and
that sounds so racist,
dude. No, it is
I can't-
100%.
No.
That is true. You're like, man, that
In
person
Irving,
looks kind of
it falls
Indian,
that way, yeah.
kind of Chinese. No, they're Nepalese.
They're Nepalese.
And then you talk to them, you're
There's
like,
a
oh, you're from
huge
Nepal.
Nepalese.
Oh, dude, they are at Northlake College. Every class I had at Northlake College, like beginning of class, they're
Damn.
like, is anybody here from America? And you have some hands go up.
Everybody.
Almost every class had at least one person from Nepal. And when you
course.
when you do the math, like, damn, that's a lot of people from Nepal in this area. It's kind of like Euless with Tongans.
Yeah.
The second most largest population of Tongans outside of Tonga is in
in
Euless.
Euless. But that's because American Airlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like there's those, but also that's DFW. We
Yeah.
have we're just a hub, and then there's all these little pockets.
Have you ever been to New York City?
No, I do
You know,
not give
have
up
you
one
been-
fuck about New York City.
No, you.
Because growing up,
It's so great.
okay, here's what I hate about
Oh,
New York
shit, this
City.
is deep.
Oh
All
God.
right.
Oh
Here
no
we
no.
go.
Okay,
I wanna go to
growing
New
up,
York
like
City.
I go
I
watch
wanted-
Friends and Seinfeld and all
was
that
gonna
shit.
go.
No, that doesn't
No,
count.
that's not
When you-
real.
No, I know.
Those were all shot
I
in
know.
Hollywood.
Okay, but then you do that, but then go to like your Woody Allen movies and shit like that. Growing up, when you watch a movie that's so New York based, I need like a legend to tell me what the fuck why is this important or funny or okay. I don't know what the fuck the boroughs.
I guess I'll never
I don't
take
know
you to the
what
cellar
you mean
then.
when you say something about Queens or Williamsburg
Comedy
or
Cellar.
Brooklyn. All I really know is Harlem, black people. Okay,
Did you
I
like
can
Debbie
get
Does
that.
Dallas?
Never watched it.
Debbie does.
But like
Dallas.
when something
a lot of Dallas
so
references.
No,
New
no,
York
that's easy to
based,
figure out. That's nothing.
but also like I don't know what you mean by like I'm like over in Williamsburg or
Nah.
in Queens. I don't know what the fuck that means. Okay,
all you
to
need
me,
is one.
it's
Well,
like
you
friend.
just
right
gotta go
over
and
there.
find
It's
out.
like right
Yeah.
over there.
it's expensive.
I'll-
Also, you're too fucking expensive.
This
I'm
is
not
real.
gonna go there.
This is some
Look,
deep shit.
I don't
for
think
you.
this is real. I don't think you have a
We're
hate
going-
for New
hey,
York.
We're going
No,
next
fuck
August.
New York. People
We're going
think
next
it's too
August.
goddamn important.
We're going next August. You just roll up there with us. I'll show
No.
you everything in one
Yeah.
day.
Well, here's the thing: is people they think it's the center of the fucking world, but
Brian
I'm like, it's
Breckenridge
not.
at gmail.com.
No, no,
So,
they
so,
do.
so is LA. Everyone in LA thinks
Yeah,
Oh
LA
no,
is
no,
great.
that's
I
the
love
second
LA,
thing.
though.
Like
Yeah.
I just
I
went
love
through
it.
Entourage.
Everybody says I'm gonna love New York.
I just went
I
through
like
I
all
gotta
New
go
York.
up there.
I-
Man.
LA
This-
and
I
New
was
York.
Like,
not-
dude, you'll love it.
I
You
was
have
not ready to
all
love
of
it.
these little suburbs.
Yeah.
You have all these
It's over
little
the top when you
areas
first get
of
there.
New
You have
York
no
and
idea what you're
LA
getting into.
that when you mention them, they imply that's the rich area, that's the poor area, that's the area with a certain amount of race in it. And I'm like, I don't know that. I don't like when you say Queens. I don't know what the fuck that like. I'm like, what's that? You have more Italians there or something like. I don't know what the fuck that means. All I really know is like Harlem, black people because Harlem Nights.
Because of vacation?
And then now I kind of know Williamsburg is
No, the
more of the
vacation was,
hipster
Chicago,
gentrified
wasn't it?
district.
You
But
guys
like
know the
these
Commodores?
places that are so inside baseball, like New York and LA, I don't know
Commodores.
what you mean when you mention certain boroughs
Okay,
and
so
neighborhoods.
can I go back
All right,
to,
yeah,
my
yeah,
LA point
what are you
or
gonna
my
say?
New York
Yeah.
point?
I just growing up, I just didn't
So-
like how like elitist that shit sounded.
I
like,
got it.
Blah blah blah. Williamsburg.
I'll
I'm
take
like,
you-
I don't know what the fuck
Damn,
that
this
means.
I'll
is
take you up
shit
there and
right
show you because my
But it shouldn't
first
have
trip
to
up
resort
there,
to that.
No. It is hard to understand if you're
Exactly.
not there.
Yeah.
But my first trip, I wasn't ready to accept New York as the coolest thing in the world until
You
I
think
was
it's the coolest
walking-
place?
I was walking out of the subway for the first time. We had taken a subway because my sister lives in Williamsburg, and we rode it into downtown, and it comes out Washington Square. And we were walking out of Washington Square, and she goes, "Once we get to the top of this, everything changes. You will fall in love with this place." I walked out of the subway station and was like, "I am in a different fucking world, and this is the coolest shit ever." But I didn't want to accept New York. at all.
To me, that just sounds like peak gentrification.
You know,
of
I
like
ain't gonna lie
you're
to you.
traveling. You're traveling.
It
how
is, right?
far?
Hold on. All right, I'll finish it. Go ahead.
No, to me, I'm like, you're traveling how far, and it's a completely different world. That to me raises.
No, it doesn't.
A
It sounds like
flag
it's
of
his
how
first time
fucked
ever
up
to
that
go to a
place
really
is.
cool place.
I'm
That's all it
it's
sounds like.
1,800 miles from here.
Look,
Yeah, it's
I-
not gentrification.
But
I
how
was
far
similar
is
to
that
New York.
place from that like completely different world place you're saying? I'm just like, what?
Because
it sounds like a really fucked up
Williamsburg
situation
is
that nobody wants to fix.
Williamsburg. You're kind of around 4-story buildings. You drop into the middle
I
of
know.
Manhattan, and all of a sudden
ice.
you're right here by the Flatiron Building, and you see
Yeah.
all the,
But to an outsider and some pretentious shithead like what's his
No,
Woody,
no, no.
Woody,
hold on, hold
Woody,
on. Hold on.
Woody
No,
Allen.
fuck Woody Allen, because I don't
Oh, I
give a
know,
shit about his movies.
but that's
But
he grew up talking,
another thing
jacking
is-
off about New York, and it's just that pretentious kind
Another
of
thing
shit.
He's
is,
jacking off to
when we-
8-year-old girls too. Was his
when
deal.
we
that
walked
are
out,
also New Yorkers.
when we got
Oh,
out,
yeah.
we walked 2 blocks, and I'm in front of the Bowery, and I'm like, I've heard about this venue my
I don't
entire
know.
life.
Is
Oh,
weed
it's a
legal in New
and
York
then
yet?
I've walked down, and we're by the
Is it-
Comedy Cellar, and
is
I'm
it
like,
like-
you
this
have
is the
green- you
fucking
have the green
Comedy
cards?
Cellar.
There
I'm
was
not
weed smoking
shit.
when I was
downplaying
up
how
there.
important New York is to like our overall culture and all that shit. But as someone that I really have very little desire to go ever visit New York because it just sounds so fucking pretentious.
You, sir, are racist
I can't believe
against New York.
I just extolled the virtues of DFW's diversity.
No.
You want good Indian food, you go to fucking Irving. You want good Vietnamese food, you go to Arlington. I love DFW's diversity.
my diversity-
New York just needs to get the fuck over
Hold on.
itself.
This is what I was
Okay.
going to talk about with diversity in New York, and you may have seen
I'm-
this.
I just
I'm
want to
with
know
you.
if
I wanna
they
tell you
have
my
No,
New
no,
York
no.
story.
I just wanna
All
know
right.
if
New
weed's
York's
Wait, look at this.
segregated.
Hold on, because this is what I was originally leading down was
Fine line between diversity
in
and
New York.
segregation.
New York's known as the melting pot of the world, and when you walk, you can walk 2 blocks and be in a Russian village, and it's like, holy fuck, I'm not supposed to be here. And then you walk another 2 blocks, you're in
They
an
said no
Italian
Russian,
area, and you're
no
like,
Russian.
It's
what
called
the fuck?
segregation.
You walk another 2 blocks, you're in Jamaica, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And everybody looks at you like, what are you doing around here?
That's why I don't want to go there.
I've only gone 2 blocks. What the hell?
That's what it was like. I
You
enjoyed
can go
New
to
York though.
you can go
It's
to
like-
a Vietnamese restaurant in Arlington. They'll just be like, "I'll serve you." It might be a little
Weird.
language barrier, but they'll take your money.
I mean, they took my money too. I mean, the thing,
They-
about,
yeah,
the thing
they'll
about New York, I got it. When I was
Yeah.
there the first day, I was just like, all right, this is all right. Maybe it was overshot. But then after like 2 or 3 days, I was like, I get why people want to come up here. I wouldn't want to come up here for music or because there's just too many people that's trying to do the same shit.
I can't imagine trying to do a comedy career up there
Yeah, it's
or
too
a
much.
music
No,
career.
yeah,
It's
it's
too
no.
much.
You'll probably comics that move to New York. I'm just like, bye forever
Yeah.
because your mind is permanently fucked now because you're going to a complete shit show. If you're born and raised in New York, I think that's an advantage because then you can move.
Yeah, and
Like,
there's such a
that's
hard nosed place. Like it doesn't matter. Like
But
getting
also,
heckled.
the numbers are out there. You know how hard it is to fucking live in New York. Why, especially a comic, would be so goddamn stupid to move to New York when you could just maybe think a little smarter and a little harder and figure out and all the great ways that the internet just work a little harder in a different way and cheaper, be smarter and cheaper, and flesh out a career without having to fucking drain all of your money to fucking rent.
From what I've
this is
seen
dumb.
from the
This is
comedy scene up there, it's like it would be like I have my band, The Spectacle, goes up there to play a show, and we're closing for the Rolling Stones, and it's like there's just no way. Everybody leaves.
Yeah,
you're going up there, and for comedy. It's like, okay, I've got to follow Chris Rock.
Yeah, and you might get
How the
bumped
fuck
by
am I gonna do this?
big time. Somebody comes
You
in
know?
and might bump a few people. I'm like, that fucking.
I've got to
sucks.
follow Artie Lang. Okay, have fun. It just sucks.
I
All
enjoyed
those
it
New
to
Yorkers.
visit.
Yeah.
But to stay there, no.
I don't think I
think
could live and work,
It's one
but
of
visit.
those places. Like I've been to LA and I've been to New York, and I got both of them. I get why
Which you like
people-
better?
I like the weather in LA better. If I had to pick, because they both would suck to try to make rent there, but I'd rather do LA because the weather is just way.
I'm giving you a
fucking
ticket
nicer.
right now. Which one you flying to
LA.
first? You're going to
because
LA. First.
it's nicer weather. When New York, when I was up there, fuck, it was so goddamn cold and goddamn rainy. And
When'd
it's
you go?
fucking dirty than a bitch in
It
New
is
York.
dirty.
New York is
I like the grime.
dirty than a mother. Like there was fucking rats pulling. Huge ass rats pulling whole slices of fucking pizza, like the whole thing.
Dude, last time I was up there,
it was
You're
the
asking
most-
the rats if you can have a piece. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
man.
man.
There was a. All
Can I
right,
get a piece of
this is
that?
when I knew it was my last day in New York. My last
That's
time
really
in New
good,
York,
man.
there was a homeless guy who had got drunk, who was on the train, who had pissed himself
I
and
saw that.
all over the train. And I just remember just sitting there. At first, I saw the liquid and I thought, oh, someone just spilled something, but I smelled the smell. And I was in the
No,
smell, and it was
That's
like,
piss.
and his dude was on the phone talking. He was
You
like,
made Brian piss.
he was like, oh man, hold up, man. I gotta get off this motherfucking train. It smells like piss in here. And that's when I realized. I looked at this homeless, sleepy motherfucker like, oh, fuck nah. This motherfucker, like, and it was nothing. People were just walking around, and I'm like, nah.
I may or not pissed myself this weekend.
I mean, were you at the crib?
Yep.
All right, no one saw you.
I think I was at the crib.
Oh, well.
Do you not remember anything from this weekend? I was like,
a lot of
why isn't he
blurry.
responding
Why
to
aren't we
shit?
doing drugs? We need to do drugs together.
Was it?
Because we need to do some psychedelics. Because I'll tell you
Open
something.
up the fridge.
Remember the last time
Yeah.
I told you, I still haven't done ayahuasca, but I've done DMT. I've also done shrooms.
How was your DMT?
And I've done LSD for the first time.
You do DMT every night.
DMT
You go
was
to
amazing,
sleep.
actually. DMT was like, it's 7, maybe 8, 9, 10 minutes of just like the most intense high. You're going to like psychedelic trip, and then you just come back. And then the after effect is you're super calm, you're relaxed, and you're just like, whoa.
And
like,
as you're sitting there, did you did you see
yo, man,
your
you
future and what needed to be done, or how
it-
were you in your
It
DMT? land?
almost felt like whatever your soul or spirit would be, or your mind, if you felt separate from your body. It literally
Yeah.
feels like
That's what everybody says.
but they're not wrong. It's just like you feel like I'm way over here. That's my body, and it's just like
You're
it's
just
all
watching
good.
everything that's going on.
I mean, so sometimes you see shapes, pyramids. I mean, I usually do it. I did it by myself. Like the first time I did it with one other guy, but usually when I did it, the recurring time by myself, and it's just like you're there, but it's not important. It's
How-
not important at all.
Did it change the way you feel and look towards things?
That's like death.
Not really death, just anything in
general?
life, like your future.
You
And
kind of realize that you're
kind of wrote your path. Did you
you're
suddenly do it and then be like, oh, I need to go this
this
way?
is what I instantly felt like. You feel like, all right, so you're more important than you think, but you're also way smaller and less important than you can ever imagine. Like all the stuff that you're experiencing in your daily life, your ups and downs, like all of the memories you have, good or positive, it's like they're important, but really it's not that important.
Because you're part of one organism.
It's what maybe for me it felt like we were kind of, there might have been something bigger, but we all kind of had our own little
See any clock
roles.
trolls?
No, I'll tell you what, I saw pyramids.
Yeah.
I saw pyramids and I saw space. And I saw a lot of different colors.
Yeah.
And then it was just like,
We need to go camping.
and when it was done, it's just like, and it's like you're just back.
You're back.
And then like you don't immediately come to, you're just kind of like, whoa. And then everything returns. Shrooms was more intense because I did 4 grams of shrooms in the dark.
Whoa.
I did just 4 straight. I just took them all at once. That shit was intense. Now that was an intense psychedelic trip, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I saw crazy shit.
You feel
on there.
good?
At first, I had because usually it was my second time doing them. So my first time I had a bad trip. And what they say is true. Like if you're going through some shit, or if you just can't let the high be, don't mess with it. I would tell people if you're going through some like traumatic shit, this is not the time to be doing psychedelics,
Yeah.
bro. But like the second time I just
Which
let
is
it happen.
That's funny because like the way they're being used is for post-traumatic stress, and a lot of they're being experimented.
Are they
with.
microdosing them, or they're doing large
they're-
amounts?
They're
They're
doing
micro.
full doses.
Micro's
No,
different.
the ones where you're monitored is full doses.
Oh, I thought they were
Oh,
microdosing all those
I don't
guys.
think so.
I don't know.
Maybe
Well,
I don't know what the purpose would
the-
be to microdose it though.
Well,
Like you can
microdosing.
microdose and still drive on shrooms.
Yeah, you don't see anything when you
Yeah.
microdose. I've
Just
tried
makes you more-
microdosing.
But I thought their
I'm pretty
sessions
sure-
were only a couple of hours.
Well,
Do
the-
what?
I thought their sessions were only a couple
Well,
of hours.
a good shroom trip's only like 4 hours. Like it's a shorter trip than acid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
the ones that I've heard about, like Joe Rogan, every once in a while has that guy, that military dude on.
Yeah, I
that
know what you're
has
talking
done
about.
it for like the journalism.
Oh, with that
dude.
big long beard,
Is it?
and he's kind of like an
Maybe.
older white dude. Like he's done.
I've
a
never
lot.
watched him. I just listened to it.
All right,
So.
'cause there's a couple guys that come over there talking about it, and that's why I got the idea for the hero dose, because he's talking about the hero dose. I
The
just
hero
took 1
dose.
gram.
What's that?
The hero dose is 5 grams in the dark. I only took.
Oh, you're
4.
talking about the mega doses
Yeah,
that you do?
yeah. I tried that.
What'd you do
one.
in the dark at your house?
That's at my house. I mean, it's the only place I felt safe. 'Cause I didn't know. Like at first, you're thinking,
No
all right, this is gonna
babysitter.
be intense, and you're just like, no babysitter. It's gonna be intense, but I'll be all right. But you have no idea. Like it starts going, and you're doing whatever you're doing, and you're just sitting there, and it's just like shit just starts happening. Like you start seeing colors in pitch dark.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everything just starts. Your sounds come together, and I remember being very sweaty. I sweat so much. I thought, and like, am I pissing myself? I had to get
Mhm.
up and check before I went too far in it. And I was like, no, that's just
Am I
sweat.
the dude on the subway?
My whole fucking body's like full of sweat. And I was just like, here we go. It's too late now. So I had the first part of the trip, which was bad. Like I was thinking about bad memories and other shit, and then you come on the other side, and it's great, man. Like great insight.
That's
I
usually
wouldn't
after
do
you
it.
peak too. You start
Yes.
coming off that climax and you start getting a grasp of what's going on
Yeah.
and stuff, and that's when you'll start getting that peace feeling.
Have you
Yeah.
ever done it with someone else? Where you're all
Uh,
touchy feely and
Oh hell, well, I've done
Oh, yeah,
LSD
so-
with other people.
no, but mushroom.
Mushroom. Yeah, I've done mushrooms with other people. I did mushrooms
That's when
the
you
first time with
like
other
to do
people.
them was with other people.
Fuck, man.
It's scary by yourself.
I'll tell you after who I was doing it, but I was doing mushrooms with someone that you know just the other week at their house, him and his wife. And they had never done anything. They were so straight laced.
Three-way?
They've never no.
Oh.
They've never done coke. They've never done ecstasy. They've never shroom nothing. All they've done is drank, and they don't even smoke. So they're absolutely straight laced.
Figgin?
And were they vegan?
No.
Oh, they were vegan.
No, I said figgin.
Oh, and so we were in there, and
S&M?
you know, I made them like a playlist. They're like, we want to hear some new stuff. Like, we want to hear some rap music, some R&B. So I made them a whole Spotify playlist, and for 5.5 hours,
Mushrooms and rap.
Oh, in R&B. I mean,
In R&B.
we're talking about everything. We're not just talking about like current shit, like Lil Wayne and shit. We're also talking about like OJs. I was throwing them back.
You were
OJs,
going back.
Teddy Pendergrass. They hadn't heard anything other than like rock and pop
Yeah.
music. So I was like, oh shit, we got Jodeci, we got Teddy Pendergrass, Phyllis. How we can go through a whole list of this motherfucker. It was great.
Did you
But
kill 'em?
they were fucking tripping.
Did you kill him?
No, I didn't kill them.
Are they still alive?
They're alive.
They're
Okay,
alive. Okay.
alright.
Huh.
they're alive, but I mean, just to see like them trip, like the first time we did it twice. The first time he did it, he tried to control the high, which everyone tells, just don't control, just let it go.
Sit back,
Can't control
relax.
shit.
And motherfucker was just there, and he was just like, he was trying to talk, he couldn't talk, he was just way
That's
too
to me the
fucking
best
high.
part is when you're on mushrooms and you try to vocalize
Yeah.
anything.
How fucked up you are.
Yeah, and you know, like, and you can't, and I'm just like, that's like the bet. That's when you know the shit's working.
And it feels like everybody's
you're
looking at you like
peeking.
this going,
Yeah, after
You
he
can't
was
put
just
into
like, I'm
words what's
sorry,
going on.
I didn't
Yeah.
talk to you guys, and they're just like, bro, like you're on a trip, it's no
Yeah,
big deal.
don't
Because
apologize.
me and his wife, we were just talking like normal. We like, cause I've done it before. His wife, for some reason, was a trooper. She took more than him. I don't know if he had been drinking or doing something else, but we were just having a good time, just sitting on the couch talking. This dude's right next to her, just like, just like tripping. So we
Yeah.
took it the second time, and after I told him, just let it go. You're gonna be fine. Like nothing's gonna happen. You're in a safe place. So
yeah.
you're not like you're at a party or some place where you like I have to try to like maintain some type of sobriety. And he had a fun time the second time.
Have you ever floated
No,
in a sensory deprivation tank?
no, I thought about doing it once, but I don't know if that was.
Dude, did I
I-
tell you I
I
think
gotta-
the one in Flower Mound shut down, man?
Yeah, you
I'm
told
sure
you
it
said that
did.
last show.
Fuck.
I'm sure it did.
I've got a place I go to in Colleyville.
It's still open.
And it's fun.
How much is it?
Yeah. It's like 40, 50 a float.
And so how long
It
is
feels
it?
good.
An hour?
An hour. But you're supposed to go there clean. Don't drink the night before.
Mhm.
I drank my last float the night before and it made me sick. But you go there clean and
I wonder why it makes you
it's a good
sick
time.
when you're hungover. Is
Something
it just because
with
of your
all the
vertigo
salt
and shit?
and I think it's magnesium in the
Was it
water.
dehydrate you?
It
I'm
gets
trying
to
to get out
you,
and piss right quick.
and it kind of, as things are soaking into you,
should
it
I
can
go
make you
around?
more
Use
sick.
it
I wasn't super
Like it
sick.
intensifies your hangover?
It made my stomach kind of churn. Like I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to eat beforehand, which I didn't.
You know.
But it was even after the first time went and floated. I wanted to eat immediately. I was hungry as hell.
Like afterwards?
afterwards.
Yeah.
But this time I was like, I can't eat. It's bothering me. But
And that's the time that you were a little bit
take
hungover.
take a burger in there with me. Just like leave it on my chest. Just be like, this is nice. Oh, I'm fucking.
Can you
hungry.
take a
Go find-
burger in there with
I
you?
don't think so.
Probably.
But the
Clog up the jets.
the first the first time was when the girl told me, she's like, once you do this a couple times, you can bring your own playlist in here.
Yeah, and you want to do metal, and they said no.
No, I want to do
Heck
Nine
no.
Inch Nails, and she's like,
No,
yeah,
can't
that
do
may be
that.
too intense. It's like shit.
What album are you going to take? Just all of it?
The Fragile.
All right, I hadn't even looked at this show note stuff, but are we following this
fuck
thing?
that.
What are
Not
we doing
really.
here?
I missed the mushroom talk. That
I
shit-
wanted
one
to.
thing-
I do want to throw a shout out real quick.
Yeah,
Friday night, I went over and hung out with Dante, who we had on a couple of weeks ago.
for the garage.
Yeah, we went to the
Old
old
guys in the garage.
Went over there and hung out with them. It was a blast.
What'd y'all play?
We played all fighting games, and then Dante and I
I
broke
saw
out FIFA,
Oh yes. All right.
and we played one game FIFA because people were like, "Oh, this is dumb,"
And it was long.
and it was long. But we
Yeah, because
played.
soccer's boring.
Why didn't y'all do shorter periods?
Yeah,
What is it? What does my period have to do with anything?
Like just do the two. You can set
mean,
it to 2 minutes.
yeah, that'll
No,
work.
they
That's
were
what I do.
fast. They were fast. But in
We're
our
in America. We're not into fucking.
so here's the
soccer,
problem.
buddy. what is not, bro? That's
I can't get behind.
Here's
when
the
it's
problem.
0-0.
Here's the problem: is
Like,
we
you're
started
cheering
playing.
for nothing.
We started out with Soul Calibur, and Soul Calibur. Once we got warmed up and we're good and we're playing Soul Calibur, with the girls with the giant boobs,
Yeah, man.
Animated
technology,
boobs.
boob jiggle technology,
super boob technology.
all the way out.
Once we got into it, Adam and Dante. Well, I guess I would kind of fed on this. We decided to play Loser Has to Take a Shot
Oh, there's the
Oh,
problem.
every
right.
round.
Yeah.
We got trashed really fast. And
course.
then we went on to a game from the 90s called Time Killer,
Oh, I remember that.
where
Was
you
that,
could
was that a
cut people's
first-person
arms
shooter?
off. No, it was another fighting
Fighting
game.
game.
And you cut
Okay.
people's arms off because the whole night was revolved around fighting games.
Whose podcast is it?
Old Guys in the Garage.
I met him. I met.
I think you met
everyone
Dante,
can think
yeah.
of, but it sucks. You
Yeah.
you can't remember all of them. People always feel bad when they remember my name. Like, it's no big deal. buddy.
So then we went
I'm not that
to.
important.
After that, we went to. Was it FIFA? No, we did another fighting game. I can't remember what it was. Then we went to FIFA. Oh, we went to Injustice. I'd never played Injustice 2.
Oh, I kind of like Injustice. I'm not.
The
A
Mortal
huge
Kombat
fan.
that is against superheroes.
Yeah,
That was
no.
cool. And then we went to. We played FIFA real quick, and then we went to Mortal Kombat and into the night out, and that was fun. But we got destroyed
Yeah.
really early, really quick, and shots of he pulled out that red hammer vodka or
Oh, really?
the Russian vodka, the red hammer, red sickle, whatever, and we got destroyed quick. So I just want to throw a shout out to them. I had fun, had a great time. Before I went over there on Friday, I watched something. Wonder if you two guys or you three guys, because I haven't talked to Matt about it. Dave Chappelle released
Yeah, I saw it.
846.
I saw it.
Dude, that
I
was
watched the first couple of minutes, but
It was
I only
less-
got distracted and I couldn't see those.
It's less comedy and more just like a commentary on what's
Yeah.
going on. There's a couple jokes, but everything. The same thing I got reached out to by the Weekly about what's going on. The same thing he's talking about. Most black people, most Latino people, and I think people forget about it. Poor white people, because a lot of white people, like they're poor. If you're working we had this conversation. If you're working 40 hours plus a week, barely making your ends meet, you don't count. You don't fucking count for what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, there might be some white privilege there, but as far as like what Trump is doing, that's not for you. You're not the CEO of a company. If you're working 40 hours a week, if you can look down the road in trailer parks, people on heroin, no education, you don't count, right? So for those people, we already knew this shit. All the stuff that's going on, like people just get annihilated by the police. Everything's just heightened. But we already knew that,
that.
Like I knew that shit back when I got into punk rock 15 years ago, and I'm just like, oh, cool. Now
Rage
everybody,
Against the Machine.
now you're on, now you're in the streets after a pandemic, and like that's causing this whole, this rift between. Oh, now we can go out and associate if it's for a protest. So that's going to be fun for people to debate for fucking ever. But it's like something I've always been cognizant of, but like never seen this upswell and protest when it's like. I'm like, that's what these punk rock bands have been
That's
talking
what we talked about last week.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Is-
it's weird when something finally boils over,
Yes.
and also like when it's also on. It also makes a vast difference if something's caught on camera
Yes.
because you can read an article about something.
It doesn't hit you the same as seeing
Exactly.
it, especially seeing someone suffer.
The optics make like you saw what happened to George Floyd. You
Yeah.
saw that
You
shit.
saw it takes a lot of fear for a grown man to call for his mother
Yeah.
and beg another man
dead
for his
mother.
life.
But if
That's
you
what's
don't
like,
see
do
crazy.
you
that,
realize
like if we
ooh,
didn't see what
That's
happened to George Floyd.
hardcore.
bro, come on, man.
If we didn't see, if
so
if there
hardcore.
was no video of what happened to George Floyd, there might have been something in Minneapolis. But whether you want to call it organized or not, I don't think we would have seen all the shit because, like the Ferguson thing, it was pretty much just in Ferguson and maybe St. Louis as much as I can remember. It was pretty localized, And that's and I think we saw
I think
like security
Ferguson was
footage.
the first time I really thought that it may actually
It
erupt
also depends on
nationwide because it started getting
how
that way.
it's covered.
But it took this for it to erupt.
Like this shit like this
Oh,
would
it's
happen
been
since
it's been
since
about
Trayvon
4 other
Martin.
cases since then too. It wasn't,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, some other.
I
black
think
people get
the
hung.
thing that needs to be focused on is how it's covered as opposed to how it's been covered for the last 20, 30 years of, whether we have video or not and how many other outlets cover it and who organizes protest or who doesn't.
And what is
it's
the
weird-
agenda of the outlets at the time in
Exactly.
the climate?
The agenda, who's putting money behind it. You gotta
whether
be
that's
educated
money
on
getting
all that stuff.
And this is what I've always hated about like government programs and NGOs is how they have the best message in the fucking world and they take all these donations and shit, but also thanks to the fucking bureaucracy of that organization, how little of that eventually gets to their overall goal. But also, you're called an asshole if you want to be, you want to speculate on their agenda and just kind of like, no, you want the best thing for people as well. But also, like, would a lot of the people that proclaim to do a lot of good, how much of that money is actually getting?
Yeah,
I understand
good
you need to
question.
pay people.
Yeah.
Some people need to be paid in order to make this shit work.
Yeah.
Like right now, there's a lot of things about that Minneapolis Freedom Fund, and I get the conversation how they took in $35 million. This was actually $35 million, quote unquote, was trending on Twitter last night because the Minneapolis Freedom Fund, or it could be Minnesota Freedom Fund, but for the initial George Floyd thing, they took in $35 million, but they'd only spend $200,000 on people's bail. Now that could either the spectrum of the allegations ranges from they're just taking in people's money. It's probably going to go back to the DNC. It could be that. Or I understand people saying, hey, this organization had never taken in that amount of money before, but they should. If
there is some weird things,
they
with that
should have been
because-
ahead of the curve and been. If they would have came out and say, guys, please bear with us. We've never taken this amount of money before. We want to hire some people that know what they're doing, and so we can allocate this money correctly.
It's cattle.
But they didn't.
The thing is, people that know what they're giving their money to and study things and obsess on the news and don't just listen to narratives and talking points, they look into that and they know that those type of organizations.
And that's a small
funnel.
minority of people that just hit.
And that's the sad part about it. That's
Mm.
the sad part about it because you have these two agendas jockeying for position with this group of cattle.
Go back
Like
go back to Haiti when the hurricane hit Haiti, and it was like text 70555 with your amount to the Red Cross or whatever. Where the fuck did all that money go?
Yeah, and that's what I hate.
They
is
raised
people,
millions of dollars, and it all went into the the
and
DNC
it's
election,
cheap giving
which
money
Hillary
to an
lost.
organization because they feel good. But
Puerto
also,
Rico, too, did
where's
that?
the
They had some
fucking
problems with it.
accountability that
They
these
still haven't fixed Puerto Rico.
organizations
Sad.
They don't
are
give a
actually
damn- they don't
doing
give a
what
damn
they
about those
say
people.
they do? But then a lot of that. But guess
being
what?
honest.
Time keeps going on,
Why would you
and
want
new
to come here?
things
Like,
keep
no one cares
happening.
about you.
And you just kind of, it's like, I gave $50 to the Red Cross. Well, guess what? Maybe 5
just threw it
cents
away.
went to the people that actually needed
went
it
to who needed it.
because they need to pay all these people, like
It's sad.
accountants.
It's sad
and-
because we live in a time where you have to worry about or you have to investigate the people you want to donate money to.
Oh, I
Because
know.
you don't really know. It's like the United Way every year comes to my work and does this whole spiel and everything, and they say there's all these organizations you can give to, and then you break it down. You go into United Way's website and you're like, okay, let me see where all
What they
this
were,
goes.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, I want to give to, I'm just going to throw this out there, no one get pissed, but the Boy Scouts of America through the United Way, they get like 4 cents out of every dollar you donate. And it's like,
March of
where
Dimes.
the
They call it
fuck
March
is
of
all
Dimes
that
because they get a
going?
dime.
What's the big breast cancer one?
The Susan G. Coleman?
Okay, so I was waiting tables at a seafood restaurant chain. And what's funny is this girl that I worked with, who me
Morning,
and her
ladies.
did not agree on fucking anything. And we just, butted heads. I was a great waiter, and I would give her shit. She's like, I'm not making any tips tonight. I'm like, wow, you've been stiff by every table. You're a shitty waiter. And I was just a dick to her, but she was also a bitch. So we didn't agree on shit.
How old were you when this happened?
This was like 7 years ago.
Right.
So okay,
Last
so
week.
our company said, "Hey guys, we had a meeting, and they're like, we're taking Susan G. Komen, donations." And what's funny is she piped up and said, like she had serious concerns about Susan G. Komen and how they very few of the donations they take in actually get to help breast cancer survivors and all that shit. And I was just like, I raised my hand. I go, I'm with her. Like, I don't want to do this. One, it was me just kind of like, hey, I'm a waiter. I'm here to make money for me. Fuck you.
Yeah, we don't make a lot.
I'm a good waiter.
People.
I do my job.
Yeah.
I'm here to make money for me. I don't want to throw this other shit in that might dissuade them from not tipping me more. But I heard her argument, and I was just kind of like, that fits my conspiratorial point of view of the world. And I was just like, I'm with her. I agree with her, and even though we don't agree on anything. I'm just like, I agree with her because I think that's a valid concern to have someone like Susan G. Komen. They have the best intentions of the world because their PR is great, and they want to tell you we're helping women with breast cancer. My mom's had breast cancer, but also you have to do, like I said last time I was here, do that next level of thought.
Yeah,
be like, is this actually going towards that? And I was just like, holy shit, her name was Joy. I'm like, Joy has these concerns. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm with her, but they still made us do it anyways.
Same for like even your taxes. Like when if a rich person was to pay your taxes or even our taxes, right? Even though a lot of rich people, a lot of people who own companies, they don't pay taxes. Like my thought is, where's my tax money going? Like, because if with all the money that we have, like we should never have a pothole in the street. No. Everything should be funded. Everyone should have everything. Yeah. It's like if my tax dollars is going to some rich guy doing cocaine on a yacht with models, well, I can just keep that and do that shit myself.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm missing out.
Let's just be real. I'm just like, I want to know where my shit's going.
Did y'all see that thing? Someone, let's just say some congressman or senator, I can't remember exactly who, they posted about like Amazon. And the amount of taxes Amazon paid. Well, Amazon,
I didn't think they did.
Well, here's the thing:
they got
Amazon on their Twitter. I think it was either the Amazon Twitter or Amazon HR. A sub segment of Amazon Twitter pages. They replied back and retweeted saying, "We pay every penny owed that Amazon has to pay. Your issue isn't with us; it's with the tax code." And so I was just like, that was a hilarious retort from Amazon of them saying, we pay everything we're supposed to. No one's going to pay more taxes than they have to.
Yeah.
So your issue...
We don't make enough to pay more taxes. We need it.
Everybody tries to get over the bare minimum.
They're not
you have to pay.
And that, to me, that was fucking hilarious coming from Amazon. And I'm just like, I'm like, oh shit, don't make me defend Amazon here. That's weird. I'm like, well, whatever. I don't use Amazon even anyways.
Why not?
And so I don't buy shit.
Why not?
I don't need shit. Life is simple and people make it more complicated than it needs
pretty
to
nice.
be.
You get to watch some cool shit. There's cool shit on Prime.
I have HBO Go. We have access to Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime accounts. I have plenty of shit to watch.
You use someone else's.
People who live in our house, yes. So it's all
so
legal.
if you need to have something shipped to you next day or within 2 days, you can
consume things. I don't need anything shipped to me. I don't buy things.
You never know.
I buy food and I eat it and I shit it out.
You might need a
I get my car repaired as I need it. I don't need shit.
Have you used a flashlight before?
But
yes.
But
really?
what's funny is Amazon.
Does it work? Is it good?
Yeah.
It's all right. It's not the same. Like,
there's other cooler things.
We're just not at the point where we can have like toys that's just like pussy. We're not there yet.
It doesn't feel
now.
like pussy.
I think maybe one day before we die, at least because I'm 27, you guys might not be around, but if we will get to the point. We'll get to the point.
What the fuck?
What are you like 40 something?
I mean, he's not lying.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I was thinking like, man, because I think a lot of men, if they had a choice to not deal with the bullshit that some women give them,
you can have sex with a robot,
or also like
just
the vetting games and all the other bullshit, or a robot, they would just pick the robot. It's easier. It's just like bust your nut, go about your day. You don't have to have any kids, no alimony.
Clean that shit up, though.
Yeah, but you just put a little cloth
there. At least when you're
something.
banging a woman, she has to go clean her shit.
Yeah.
So the problem with the flashlight is the titties don't bounce on your chest as you're banging
that's
it.
your shit.
That's your shit.
You need.
I gotta have everything.
I'm an ass guy.
I gotta have everything.
Turn around. I don't want to see your face.
We're having
I just think that's
conversation for a good 5 minutes.
Men wanting their sexual release to come through like a robot. I think that's just lazy. And I'm like, no. If you want, I've been with my lady over 10 years now. We're going on
Congratulations.
11 or whatever.
Oh my God.
We
sweet.
even
And he
forgot.
doesn't eat ass.
We even don't really
Y'all
know.
aren't married?
You
But
don't,
no,
you don't eat ass?
It's not the taxes. Is
He
not
doesn't
worth
eat
it.
You don't
ass.
believe in
You
the
don't eat
paperwork?
ass?
He doesn't eat
So
ass.
I take the Doug
I eat
Stanhope
the shit out
stance
some
of
ass.
just
If
kind
it's
of like
clean.
I don't need
Yep,
the
as long as
government.
it's clean,
and-
I
I'm
will
good.
eat the shit
Hold
out
on,
of
you
Anyways.
need to
ass.
shut up because this is happening.
No,
This is
like,
gold.
Like, I will eat the shit out some
Oh
ass.
yeah.
If it's
I love
clean,
eating ass.
and I know the chick's like, you know, go ahead and spread them cheeks. Spread them motherfuckers. I'm gonna eat the shit.
I mean, if you're climbing out of the shower, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
gotta be
that's when
clean.
you can't just do it after you go to Six Flags.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the bad time to
not
do
an,
it.
not an all day standing in line queues.
Yeah,
No, that's-
You
that's-
you want to make sure that everything's like
So why
in
aren't you
order.
an ass eater? You don't fuck with ass?
No, I don't. No.
You're just not an ass eater? It's
Because
all right. I'm not judging.
I will rely on call me conservative, but that's where shit comes out of the human body, and so I ain't putting my
Well,
face
technically,
near
you're
there.
right.
I'm not putting my face near there.
Vomit
That's
goes
also
in
where a
your,
lot of
come
nerve
from your
endings are.
mouth and shit.
Not on a regular basis if you're a
Alright.
healthy enough human being.
All right.
So,
So how do
what's
we
your
get
next
from
argument?
Dave Chappelle's special to ass eating?
Just let the conversation flow, bro.
But I wanted to say something about that.
All right, go ahead. Say
About
something
Dave
serious.
Chappelle?
About the Dave Chappelle special, about how great it was.
Ass Eaters Club? Are we in it?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Wait, do we
I'm
need
in
to
it.
unite?
Oh, you
Hell
eat
yes, we
that?
do.
Yes.
No, I'm good.
You're forming
Come on, Brian.
Voltron over here.
No,
We're
no,
forming
no.
Voltron.
I am not for that.
Ass
I think
eaters.
that's when
You
we
can try
I'm
to
waiting
stop
for my
us.
phone to blow up.
we're talking about eating ass, but we
I'm
haven't
waiting
solved
for Susie to
racism
pop
yet.
up and
I
say
think
some shit.
we've
You
gone
guys are
over the
gross.
target here. I don't think we deserve
I'll
to
leave it
eat
alone.
ass
We'll talk about it later.
until all the potholes are filled and there's no homeless
Potholes.
people.
So back to the
Once
Dave
we
Chappelle
fix
thing.
the homeless problem, then we
All
can
right.
eat some ass.
Back to the Dave Chappelle.
I loved it. I loved
It's
it
an
from
insult
beginning to end.
civilization
It
when
was
you're
great.
licking butthole and
You
we
know,
solve problems.
I loved watching Dave Chappelle lose his shit and get mad. I thought that was great. I loved how he brought up Dallas. It was like, look, this is the shit that happens when you keep attacking us. You have shit like Dallas. And I really loved how he brought out the point that
What did he bring up about Dallas?
Remember that we had we
The-
killed a
the
bunch of
shooting.
cops?
Oh yeah.
the shooting, he
The-
I
brought
was
that
driving
up.
back from
the
Tyler
drone.
that night. I remember
Yeah.
that.
The drone and the
the robot drone.
robot drone.
So,
That got
Yeah.
back to Dave Chappelle, huh? He knew about that.
yeah, he was like, those JJTM guys were crazy about it. But I also loved the thing where he said that he is sitting in the back seat
Mhm.
and he's letting the youngsters
Yeah.
take it over. He's getting older.
Yeah.
So, and he loves the job that they're doing. I thought that was really cool.
He likes being a millionaire. I get it.
It was at his house.
Yeah.
And it was, he did it that over
Yeah, that's
3
what it was-
nights.
Is it? Is,
Well, and
is
how many
the
people-
Pels thing a thing where we kind of? And this is one thing I hate about the progressives, just kind of like fuck all rich people unless they say something I agree with, which I don't ascribe. I don't subscribe to that.
But did
know.
you said you only watched the first 5 minutes. In the middle of it, he says,
No, I just got to.
he says
I have
people
nothing
keep
against watching
going.
it. I just got to watch it.
What does Dave Chappelle say? What does Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
about this? He's like, you know what the fuck I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah,
about this? I've been
Yeah.
yelling this shit for years.
You don't need
Yeah.
Ja
And it-
Rule to talk about it.
Yeah,
I
you
love
don't
that.
need
Where's
me.
Ja?
No, he said in all of this, no one gives a fuck about celebrities and
Yeah,
what they're
yeah.
saying because the
Except
people are
CNN.
speaking up.
Where are
You
the
want the
celebrities?
people. This is what you want. You want the people standing up and saying.
But
you know,
the
what they mean.
celebrities, I don't know if y'all saw it this week, went ahead and
God
made
damn
their
it.
sappy video with what's his name?
What's the
from-
cast from Saved by the Bell think of all this?
Yeah, exactly. But
Oh
did you
my
see
God.
that though? That video with Pinkman? And,
Yeah,
like, all
Jesse
that? You're like, come
Pinkman
on,
and-
dude, don't do
just
this.
just videotape, just
I
jack
take
off.
responsibility.
Just show me a video of you jacking off because that's exactly what you're fucking doing. You're taking attention away
Self-gratification.
from the people at the
deserve it.
protests, which is fucking awesome. And that's why I really fucking hated people that want to make that shit violent. That to me was just the biggest fucking detriment because that just adds fuel to the far right fire of people that just And I know there's plenty of people that are just like there are protesters, there are agitators, and there are rioters, and that fucking sucks. And I really hated when people made the protests into a riot. That fucking sucks and detracts from the message because protesting is so goddamn important. And I hope that some of these agitators have been taken out because I love the fucking protests and I want them to happen. And I want them to happen peacefully so the message is brought forth. and I fucking hate.
But everything,
when-
I'm not surprised it's not peaceful though, because when you keep,
Oh, I
it's like,
get it.
how many times can I punch you in the face before you respond and you're just like,
I know.
and you
Exactly
hit me
my-
back?
that's
But
what I said a
that,
couple
that's
weeks
just
ago.
ammunition
Like,
the other
for
side
most
can
people,
use.
like I can't punch anybody in this room in the face once and them not try to punch me back.
I don't know,
That's
you've
how
been-
much most of us are,
You've
right?
been getting swole. I don't know. Yeah,
Qu-
and
qu-
they may hurt. Yeah, I
stop
may
it,
just go
stop
straight
it.
down.
Speaking of that, man, we were
But
talking
it's
about.
true.
been hit before.
He's
I
saying the
will
same
too.
exact thing as me when I said it's time to pay the piper. You fucking dug this grave. Now it's time for you
I'm not
motherfuckers to lay in it.
surprised.
I'm not
And there
surprised.
are
I'm not
people
saying
that are
I agree
actually
with
willing
it.
to die for this. I'm like, hey,
I'm not
man,
either. I'm
I
not saying
can't
I
be
agree
like,
with it. I'm not saying I agree with
oh,
it, but
yeah,
I
get why you're
understand it.
mad. All right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I get it, but also it's just it's going to give the other side ammunition. They're going to
Can
find
I
the
ask a-
person
Yes,
whose
but-
business was burned
I
down.
wanna
They're going
ask
to
all
interview
y'all a
them
question.
Okay.
and get that out.
And I don't know how much you know about this, Matt.
Is there a point where peaceful protest is not doing it though, and you need to step it up your game a little
When
bit?
they're
That's
when they're
what I wanna
shooting at you at and they're gassing you at the fucking peaceful protest, yeah.
So
They're shooting you with fucking rubber bullets and babies, people getting fucked up.
I know
That's
photographers
about the
that have lost
goddamn time.
eyes
Yeah,
because
that's
they're
yeah.
there to cover it, and the cops turn and shoot them.
Shoot them.
So my question is, and I don't know how much you know about this. What do y'all think about the Fort Worth protest splitting up, and now you have this Enough is Enough group that is actually going into restaurants and raising hell while people are eating?
Well, I think that
Kind of
sucks.
like PETA and all like the.
You think it's is it productive or counterproductive?
It
I
might be
don't-
counterproductive.
I
but
think it's counterproductive.
I think it's
Yeah.
counterproductive.
If
but
you-
That's
animal
what I
rights?
don't
You're
like.
missing the
I don't like when people
People
do
have
something
done
that
it,
could be
though.
counterproductive.
these guys, some
They're
of these
doing it
guys
different.
have been they're so angry about shit. I mean, they got all this shit that's happened over years and years. And all these communities, the gay community, the black community, the Latino community, over and over. We found a bunch of Latino guys. We got a bunch of kids in cages. You know, I can tell you about some of the race shit that's happened just around this area. I don't like getting to places early anymore because I can't sit in my car because I've had that issue before. Like, where I've gotten someplace earlier. I don't jog like because I've been working out. We were talking about that. I don't jog. I'm like
all,
I'll
really?
swim. I'll swim or I'll do HIIT cardio, but I'm not jogging, especially nowhere near
Have you been
night.
fucked with jogging?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've had my car break down in a neighborhood close to the neighborhood I lived in, close to here, like 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
And I had someone like come out their house and threaten to kill me and my mother.
Did they bring the cops out? Did
Was
they
your
call
mom
the
with
cops?
you?
They were yes.
Or they just threw that bonus
No,
in
no,
there?
she was there because my car had broke down, and I admit, like, I just missed the oil change. So you already know when you miss the oil change, it starts clacking. Your engine shot.
Yeah.
So my shit, I pull over.
You got to miss a few, man,
Fuck.
for that to happen.
It was like, no, I only missed one on that one, and maybe I don't
There's
know.
probably
if it was
some other problems.
But anyway,
Mechanics' lives matter.
it was
man.
done,
You need to
right?
listen to what's-
So my mother's out there, and I'm talking mother, because my mother sucks at any type of conversation. She sucks at. She's just trash at it, right? So a lady comes out, and I'm like, not in her driveway. I'm on the side, which is a legal spot.
Yeah, that's
And,
public property.
and I'm just like, so the lady comes out. I'm like, she's probably gonna wonder why there's two there's two black guys, black people out here. So I was like, hey, this is why we're out here. Cool. Husband comes home. Every stereotype you can think of, like a white redneck, this is what this guy was. He's about maybe 6'2", 6'3", in army boots, full cam. I don't know what the fuck he did. I don't know. Black shades, beard, everything that
probably
you
one of
think
these
of.
real
probably
man,
one of
he
these
would've
Meal
helped
Team
you
6
fix your
guys.
fucking car.
That
Probably.
motherfucker came out, was screaming, yelling, cursed me and my mother out, threatened to
Cost
call the
me
cops.
too.
I was just like, call the cops. I'm on like public property,
Yeah.
and he threatened to, shoot us and all that. And so luckily my car started and we were able to get away, but my mother was terrified and I was
Fuck
like,
yeah.
and it was just like, that was 15 minutes from here. I don't go jogging when I'm training. I don't go jogging. I don't do nothing. I'll swim. Luckily, I can swim. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll do that for cardio. But I said like Rex.
It's better
'cause
for you anyway.
I
So
spar.
you can swim?
Yeah, I spar with.
Jesus.
I spar with Rex. And I told Rex Rex is like, I want to give you some.
Are you
cardio
doing
or
Muay
something.
Thai? Or are you doing boxing?
I'm boxing right now. I'm not doing anything Muay Thai related. But I was just like, Rex, I'm not gonna jog. I'm
Yeah.
just not gonna do it. So you can give me something else, but I'm not jogging.
Jump
So-
rope. You don't have to go anywhere. Just jump rope.
Yeah.
So my problem with this whole, like you said, it's
Oh, we're at Eliminate, huh?
it's
Yeah, sorry. I got some other stuff.
All right.
it's
cool.
deterring the whole movement. Is like if I'm sitting at a restaurant that most of these restaurants they're going in are pretty upscale establishments. Like
Mhm.
say they went in Texas Day Brazil. So you go, ooh, I want some of that. If you go into Texas Day Brazil and
Orange
I'm
and vanilla.
and I'm sitting there and I
Is that where this happened at? Was Texas Day
one
Brazil?
of them. But like you
to
go
run
to
off.
Texas Day Brazil with a date. That's $1.50 you're gonna pay, right, for a meal. So you're in there eating, and all of a sudden you're trying to have a cool night, romantic night, just chilling out, and all of a sudden this group comes in there and starts
I wouldn't
yelling
like it.
shit and banging shit around.
I wouldn't like it.
It's immediately gonna turn me against them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, come on. You've got
15
the
to 20
entire
couples in there,
fucking
and-
city that you can go march in, and you've got to come in here and screw up my romantic night. It's going to immediately turn me off.
You're right. It's counterproductive, but when you're angry, we've all done some crazy shit. We were angry that we look back and we're like, oh, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've done, like,
Yeah.
that was dumb.
No, I
as
threw a
shit.
like,
base at
what-
someone.
Don't they do it? Is it like the
Nothing.
animal rights people that are they do it real quick and then they bounce? They
No,
start
no,
raising
No,
hell
they're
for like
there.
5 minutes.
No, they're there.
They're there.
Oh, they just stay there.
They're like, nah,
That-
this is our
till
shit
the
now.
cops
What they've
come?
been doing for different nights is targeting different establishments.
Mhm.
And another thing that happened during this week that was well publicized on social media was there was a guy that lives down in the Crockett Row area, lives in those apartments down there, white guy. He saw them protesting in the big circle there at Crockett Row with the light up thing up top. So they had the Social House there and Concrete Cowboy, and they were protesting both of those. And he came down to hang out and to shoot some Facebook Live
I
and
don't
to
get
just
why
kind
you're
of be there.
protesting a restaurant. I don't like.
It's the ownership and some of the waiters and stuff. Some of the stuff they've done in the past, dressing up in
okay.
blackface.
Oh, you mean like
Oh.
what we have in footwear?
Oh, okay.
What are the? We had a couple spots.
Who did
Oh,
that?
the fucking Rambler. I'm gonna just go ahead and
Yeah.
just say it. Those guys are tripping.
Those guys
Maybe
are
not. Maybe not.
crazy.
Rambler?
Yeah. So it's like, remember where? All right. So you got the chat room
Right across the street from the
Right.
chat room.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, the
Right
new.
across the street.
So
the
the,
new
so those
place.
guys,
South
the
Side Rambler.
owners, have been just talking crazy
I think
shit.
we talked about this.
Yeah, we
sometime.
talked
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that a
yeah.
couple
I
of
didn't
days
even
ago.
know it. I didn't
Crazy.
even know it had different ownership from Lozona, right?
Yeah,
Was that
it's
the place?
completely different.
I didn't know it changed because it's been so long since
Yeah.
I've been down there, and
Yeah.
so I was just like, "Oh, it's changed. Oh, there's a whole new ownership that's doing shit." I was just
Talking
like,
crazy.
Like
didn't-
what?
I
Like
didn't
what
get
are they
caught up to
talking about?
speed.
Oh, they were just talking about like Black Lives Matter and like they're very pro Trump and all this type
They
of
are.
stuff. You
They're
know, and-
very right.
And of course, you got people like
Oh,
like a Casey Dane who doesn't give one fuck about it. It's like
just attack.
she'll just
whoever.
go.
She's
She'll
awesome.
goes in on anything that she doesn't like. You know,
Yeah.
it's like so. A lot of people were like, other people I was talking to, even at the chat, and they're like, I was gonna go over there before, but now I'll never go over there. You know,
No.
I just don't. I don't support them, and I don't
The
think
place
it's safe.
sucks. The place is ridiculous. The way I've seen them do things when I've been down there the last couple of weeks is stupid. So, anyway, back to this guy went down there. He has a camera. He's Facebook Living. He's just hanging out.
Right.
Okay, and he's kind of staying back, kind of an introverted guy, as he says later on. But he's just he's videotaping, and he was down there to support everything, and to also videotape in case something happened. The protest turned on him because he's a
Wow.
white guy
Yeah.
standing outside of the circle,
Yeah.
and they went after him, and they went after him hard.
I'm not surprised.
Like hardcore, and he's like, "I'm down here for you guys. I live here. I came down here for you
It's
guys."
like
think
those
that-
kids
lot.
that were like thumbs upping
They
the
went
protest and
after
they
him.
threw bricks through their window and they're like, we support you.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
We're
what
at the point where it's just rage. Like they're
Yeah.
just enraged. So
And that's
they're
what sucks.
anybody.
Those guys were
Because
playing beer
that's just
pong. though.
ammunition
Anybody
for the
can
side
catch
that's
the L.
against that.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody
Yeah.
can
But
catch these
it's kind of
hands.
bad when you have people showing up to your event to
We're
support
out of ice,
you.
aren't we?
I don't know how much is in
Yeah,
there.
there's
right there.
none in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
But it when you show up to support a movement and you're shut out, and these are bodies you need.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't the
You
is
want
the
to
first
say,
guy
I'm
that's
one of the good
videotaped.
ones.
I'm one of the
This is the
good
first
guys.
guy that's
I'm a good guy.
videotaped. I have heard of this happening to several other white people. They're like, "I'm down there to support you guys, and you turned on me. Fuck you. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
that's-
done.
I
you know what? I'll
just-
sit at home and watch The Masked Singer or whatever the fuck's on. I don't need to come
Yeah.
down there.
The Masked Singer.
It's like,
You know,
Well,
I
I
wanna
haven't been to
support
any
the
of them because I just thought it
movement,
wasn't
but
safe enough for me. Like especially in Dallas. Like,
I
was
wouldn't have
like-
gone to
and
Dallas.
it's like I'm not gonna participate. And people have asked me like, "Well, did you go?" It's like, no, because there's too many people. So we definitely have two sides of the coin.
I wouldn't even know where
that
to park.
that are angry,
first
that
off.
are angrier. You got the peaceful guys. Then you got some people who are clearly with other groups that are inciting things.
Yeah.
It's just too much shit. There's too many factors.
And,
I-
and
I-
all you got to
exactly.
do
It
is
ain't got nothing to do
you
with
be
me, man.
following these group of people, and all of a sudden you're in the group that's like
Well,
wanting to start a fucking riot. You're like,
there
I
is
didn't want to
something-
do that.
Whoa!
You-
Whoa.
I mean, the writing's on the wall. Something bad's gonna happen pretty
Yeah,
soon.
there's
Like
no-
there's gonna be
it's
something
been happening. It's
really
gonna get
bad.
worse.
Yeah,
Here's
it's
what
gonna
I
get
think
worse.
is-
Something bad's gonna happen.
This is what I've been thinking about this past week, and I think what is going to happen is, I think there's a just a very slim minority group in this that is trying to cause problems.
Yes.
And what they're trying to do is make it a POC versus a white person, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
So that way,
That's your media wants that.
well,
Your media wants that.
the media does want that, but that's what they want too. So they can be all right.
Let's fuck shit up.
This white guy, he attacked me. But what you don't say is that you spent 30 minutes berating him. Like this guy that was berated, he was called everything.
Mhm.
They made fun of his dead father. They called him a.
How'd they know about his dead father?
Because
Yeah,
he
that's
said they started
He said, "My
saying stuff
dad's dead."
about his father, and he goes, "Well, my
My
dad
dad's
died
dead."
years ago." And they're like, "Well, good, because he doesn't see you. He'd be ashamed to see what you're doing now, because you're a fat fucking faggot."
Whoa!
All on video. All
Wow.
on video.
This is the
His
guy
shit
from the
they're
Crockett
saying.
Circle thing
Yeah.
you're talking about?
So he left and went up to Mashed. They followed him up to Mashed, went into Mashed,
What
and
about
started
Montgomery?
banging on his tables and shit. That's on Crockett. Started banging on his tables and banging shit around.
Yeah.
And he's like, and finally he just retreated to his house. He's like, I felt threatened
I
because
can't
they were
go
going to
back.
follow me everywhere.
And
I
this
can't-
And here he
this is
was.
what
It was
I
a guy to
hate is
support their scene.
counterproductive shit. And this is why I hate mobs of all, of all numbers. I'm just like when people, I love individuals. I hate groups because groupthink leads to terrible. People don't think for themselves because it's
I agree.
groupthink.
It's mob
I
mentality.
love individuals because that's how we exist and that's how we connect to people. And I don't ever like lumping anybody in with like their skin color, their beliefs. I don't like doing that because that discounts anything they might do. It's like all, that's what to me is what's like, terrible example, but like Candace Owens. Like if you meet Candace Owens, it's just like, oh, there's a black person. She believes this, and that. Terrible example. I've been drinking and I said that, but no. I love individuals because you get to know a human being, a human soul, a spirit, and you can connect with an individual. You can't connect with a group because there's a lot of differing opinions in that group because you're lumping people together in a group for whatever reason. Their ideology, their skin color, because they wear the same thing. Or whatever. And I'm like, no. People don't exist in groups. They exist on the individual. Yes, there are people that think people exist in groups. And that's what's divided humanity for centuries is that people are led, and people are also led too easily to exist in a
Like
group.
Tribe up.
And that's what fucking
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, tribe up. Yeah.
What upsets me, I think, about everything, and this is a confession right now. I
Confessions on
deleted
the Jerry
the
Jonestown
Facebook
Massacre
app off my
Show.
phone.
Oh, you finally did it.
After when I saw you on Saturday, I was already like,
On
I
the
needed
fence?
to come to that show to leave everything behind.
Yeah.
And when we were talking and stuff, and you told me
Rex is the same. That's why you can't get a hold of Rex.
you two aren't on there, y'all aren't spending any time on there. You're doing business stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I can do Facebook business stuff for the podcast, for my photo stuff
Absolutely.
on my laptop. When I'm at home, I can do it real quick and get off. I don't need to open up my phone and see notifications and be
Because anyone important hits you
detracted.
up, guess what? They have your number.
Yeah.
Or they can call you.
Everybody's got my number.
Or they can
Everybody's
find
got
someone
my
that knows you well
message.
enough to get your fucking number
That's
if it's
the thing.
that goddamn important.
Unless you change your fucking phone number and only 12 people have it.
I'm sorry. I had the same fucking phone number since I was 13 years old. Let
No,
me,
I
let me
get it.
live.
But I've reached the breaking point. I'm done. And
Yeah.
I'm
It's a lot. It's a
I
lot of
will tell you
information.
right now, I am scared to post anything, no matter what it is, on Facebook, because I don't want it looked at in a negative light, because everything is being nitpicked
Probed.
right now.
Probed.
And everything is being said. I don't want anything to damage my photography career.
Right.
I don't want anything to damage this podcast, although we've done so much in the past to damage ourselves.
Yeah, we still made it. You're fine.
But
at
it's
this
just
point.
one of those things. I'm scared to damage.
Scared of the
stuff
noodle
we've
gun.
built. The noodle gun, yes, it is
that's
the
what
noodle
you're scared
gun.
of.
Listen
But I am scared of what could
in the morning,
happen.
Joel, you guys.
In the morning.
Yeah.
In the morning, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Jeff turned his back.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's
he's a man overboard.
definitely like social media it's a lot. Like you want to pay
It's
attention,
poisonous.
but it's
Especially
like
Twitter.
when-
Twitter is
when you're
horrible
on
right
it,
now.
when you're on it, and you're just looking at all the stuff going on and people saying
Get
things,
depressed real
and
quick.
you're just looking at people, and you're just like, man, I thought y'all were. I think I attract smarter people around me, but then some of the people saying stuff, I'm like, oh, delete. It's like I was like, I didn't know you actually thought about that. I was
Yeah.
like, because if you notice, I'm very quiet on social media in general, but
Yeah.
I've been almost. I think I made
You've been
one.
silent.
The reason I've been silent is because like I'm just like Dave Chappelle, like not considering himself on that level or anything, but just like, do you need my voice? We know what people are thinking. Like if
You've been living this your entire
yes,
life.
It's like I don't really
There are
need
crowds
to.
You
in
don't
the
need to throw
streets
it out
now.
there.
It's like
one voice.
They're telling. I don't
Yeah,
need to
it's
like
great,
my
but
2
yeah,
cents is not gonna help you. I've had the weirdest thing though. I've had white people come up to me. It's like, they're like, I'm so sorry. Like, how can I make this better? How can I be better? I'm just like, and my answer is always this: like, all you gotta do is just not be an asshole. Like, it's really simple.
Don't be a dick.
Just don't
Yeah.
be a piece of shit, and you'll be fine. You don't have to make up for none of the shit your ancestors did
And
or
it pains
your
me
cousin.
that you even have to say that shit.
It's just like,
Yes,
just don't
it
be a
totally
piece of
does.
shit.
Like what?
That's it.
What did like? And that's one thing
Dude.
I love about DFW is that I grew up in this environment to where there wasn't really there's always a race issue like everywhere in the world, but also that's one thing that's one thing I love about Dallas Fort Worth, Texas, is that I grew up in this diverse group to where we weren't having these conversations that really white America was like trying to like talk about or something. I'm like, I grew up with black kids, Indian kids, obviously Hispanic kids,
Homosexuals.
we
open like,
grew
everybody.
up with each other,
Yeah.
and to where race wasn't an issue because we were associating with each other before race was even becoming an issue in our heads. We were
Yeah.
just kids on a playground, and that's where we connected at a human level. And then we grow up, and then we realize there's this overall national political conversation when you start tapping into like news sources and popular media and all that. And it's just kind of like, I'm like, you guys are behind the times. I grew up in this environment. And, with me personally, it was where I grew up, me going into punk rock shows, and then me becoming a stand-up comic. You can't, especially in DFW. Now, there's plenty of comedy scenes across the world, America, but in DFW, I love that it's always been diverse. There's always a DFW comedy has been so diverse that they, at one point in time, and depending on people's schedules, the Addison Improv is able to do Indians at the Improv. Like, that's how fucking
remember that.
diverse.
Yeah.
Like, what's funny is Paul Varghese, Raj Sharma, and what's funny is, my buddy Aaron Aryanpour, who is technically Persian or Iranian, but his joke is, as long as the check clears, you can call me whatever you
Didn't
want.
Aziz used to come through on some of those nights too?
Maybe.
When he was starting out?
Maybe.
Yeah,
But like,
before he knew who he was.
DFW comedy has been so diverse that the Addison Improv has been able to promote, prop up, support its Indian comedy, crowd, and where these shows would fucking sell out because all Indian comics were on there, and there was a couple Indian comics that were left out because it was like, well, you're too alt, we have enough or whatever, because they had enough Indian comics, and India has 1.23 billion people in the world, but there's
quite a
enough
bit.
of those people
Yeah.
A third.
pursuing comedy in
Huge.
DFW.
Quarter.
These guys could sell out a 300-400 capacity comedy club, when they're all in DFW at the right place and right time.
Well, that area has
And-
a bunch of Indian
Yeah,
population.
and that's
in Garland,
that's what's great about
Richardson.
DFW. You
Plano.
have that. You have Pakistani, you have
Yeah.
Bangladeshi, Nepalese. We have Vietnamese. And
You
you
have
have all the
everything.
different white
Everything.
people. Like, hell, I didn't even know about the Russian part of DFW until an Andrew Zimmerman show.
And
where
that
he
shit's
went-
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Like, you can find your
Like,
British
you
pub,
have an
your
Eastern
Irish pub,
Bloc,
but no, you have
Russian
Eastern
area.
European bloc segments
Yes.
that even white people don't know because we don't care that much about that part of whiteness or whatever. But I'm like, that's one thing. Like, what I guess what sucks to me is like I don't focus on the race thing that much because I've just grown up around it. That's just part of my being.
Well, and that's the way I've been. As the way I've
so we're
always
not focused
pictured
on
it.
that.
The way I've always pictured it my entire life is, you wake up in the morning and put your pants on the exact same way I do.
Yeah.
We do everything exactly the
I
same.
wish it was
Now,
that simple.
now,
No.
yeah,
it's not
again,
that simple.
It's
You
not
know,
that simple,
It's
but
definitely
that's
not,
how
and you
I've
have to listen to other people.
even to
that's
talk
how I've
about-
always viewed it.
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
And I agree with that. And I felt like that until I got older and I experienced more. And I felt racism for not just like white people.
There
or
are
like,
things that
like
we just
even
don't know.
Blacks and Latinos, like, in general, we don't get along like that.
Latino and Latino.
Oh, absolutely not.
They
Asian and
hate
Asian.
it.
These
Asian
oh,
hate each
God,
other.
My buddy Rudy
Korean-
in high school,
Holy fucking
he
shit. They hate the
hated
shit out
being
of each
called
other.
Mexican because he was from Nicaragua.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he got fucking furious if you
He's-
called him
I was
Mexican.
like, I'm not Mexican. I've had
The
I'm
Mexican
not.
on
I'm from
Mexican.
Guatemala.
Yeah.
Honey, I'm not Mexican.
Well, what's funny is the Mexicans that make it into the States, how much they hate the Mexicans south of
Yeah.
the border.
It's weird.
It's insane.
You realize
Oh,
how many
yeah, yeah.
Mexicans I know that voted for Trump?
Yes.
Like
And
from
who
here.
are
And I was
also
just like,
crazy.
wait, half your family's over there.
They're like, no, we
they're
like
like
this guy.
Like, we're not over there. We're over here. I'm just
Yeah.
like, that is
Also, how
weird
many
to
of
me. This
them
guy
are-
said he doesn't fuck with your people.
That is
I don't
fucking
get it.
many-
strange.
How many Hispanics are border patrol agents?
Weird.
That's crazy
and that's
too.
what I think is important. And you like, I think a lot of people, I'm like, listen to why they are border patrol agents. Like, and I think that's like, to me, diversity does it. To me, I hate when a lot of people like diversity. It's just like, as long you can be any color you want, as long as you believe what I believe. And I think that I'm like, that's not true diversity. Diversity is like, you can believe whatever you want and be whatever skin color you want. I think it's important to listen to how that person came to that conclusion, and you take all that into account. And like, a lot of Hispanic people that voted for Trump, a lot of Hispanic people who are border patrol agents, find out why, and take that into consideration as to what you think America
they
is.
don't really consider themselves Mexican anymore.
No.
Yeah, and
some
that's
some
what-
of them, not all of them, but it's like they don't
Yeah.
even.
Well, to be
consider
border
themselves.
patrol, you have to be a naturalized citizen.
Yeah.
But
And that's
but it's
important
still
to the
like
American experience for
they-
every little
there is a
individual.
mentality of I'm here, you're not. Get the hell out.
Yeah.
Don't
Like
fuck up my
black
shit.
conservatives. I always think
It's
that's
weird.
that's
Very
important to
weird.
me
Strange.
to figure out, because you grow up and you're like, especially during the Obama years, you're just like, oh wait, there's black people that don't like Obama. There are black
Mm-hmm.
conservatives. To
Mhm.
me, that's always been very interesting. Like
The
Ben
black
Carson to
conservative
this
is
day
crazy to
is
me. That's
insanely
the weirdest
interesting.
thing.
Like, yeah, he was a failed presidential candidate, but like, fuck that. That's when you think Ben Carson, fuck 2016 and his presidential aspirations. No, he is a neurological brain surgeon that's done insanely important stuff, and he's in Trump's administration. And the HUD advisor, and I'm like, you can disagree with all that or not, but I'm like, that I think Ben Carson's a very important
Yeah,
American
but he also
to pay
is a
attention to.
member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is kind of cuckoo.
That
Hey,
is
So
cool.
you're like, dude,
You're
if
right.
you believe
You know
in
what?
that, how smart can you
Seventh-day
be?
Adventist,
You know?
Let's play with snakes.
Forget all the
Do they
religious
do that?
shit. Seventh-day Adventists really promote a healthy diet.
Lifestyle?
How do
Which,
you
hey, I think that's punk. As long as religion comes wrong, Seventh-day Adventists are punk rock as fuck because they promote a healthy living.
Who would win a fight between them and the Mormons?
Mormons?
It
There's
depends
way
on the
more of them.
families
There are more
involved.
Mormons.
There's more Mormons. I think.
Well,
Yeah,
the Mormons
the
definitely
Mormons.
got Utah.
Hey, Seventh-day
locked.
Adventists,
Yeah,
though,
they got Utah
they are all
locked.
about a healthy
true.
living, which I think is, if you're going to have a religious movement, religious sect, and healthy living's part of that, I think that adds to your cause.
What do you
'Cause
feel about?
If you're like, believe in God, but also eat some vegetables,
Yeah.
I think that adds to your argument.
what do you feel about like
What about
Trump-
smoking some vegetables?
Trump and Jesse Jackson being friends?
That's fine.
I don't
Trump's
think
been
I don't
friends
think they're
with
real
plenty of-
friends.
You don't think they're real
Like,
friends? You think
Trump-
they're just show up friends?
Publicly,
Trump would be like,
yeah.
I'm friends with Omarosa or Little John or like what?
You are?
like he all these different.
Did you know
people.
George Floyd?
It's just like, I don't believe that. That's all for like that motherfucker don't care about you. Stop hanging with that fool.
You think it's all just
Yeah,
celebrity
stop-
photo op shit?
Oh yeah,
I'm not
celebrity.
hanging with
Trump
that
was a
fool.
celebrity for all of his life.
Yeah,
Whole
totally.
life. Still
yeah,
is.
he could say
Totally
he's
is.
friends with anyone, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And when people have, to me, when people have 2 commas in their bank account, I don't relate to them at all.
Well, that's the 1%ers, and they're
Yeah.
on a different level.
Well, there's the theory that
that's a
that's what
whole
this is really
circuit.
about too.
Yeah.
Is the gap between the wage gap and how the social, like how this is about poor people. It's kind of like what you were saying earlier. This is about poor people getting fucked over by people in power,
and they're done.
and they're done with it.
The poor people are done.
Like you're saying now, there's the people that are living in trailer parks that are white and stuff, which is
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what
I
sucks
watch
is
that
the
now.
white trailer park people.
Trailer park boys. I watch that.
They
now.
do not
That's
hear
Canadian.
the white privilege argument
Sure.
at all because they're
No.
just like, oh, this. They're like, my neighbor's black and they have the exact same shit that I do and don't have, and that's what always sucked about
My
the
neighbor right
white-
over there is black, and
Yeah, and
we're in the same
that's
neighborhood.
that's
Your-
one thing I've always hated
your
about
dad.
the
You have a black
white
dad,
the
too.
white
I do.
privilege, the white guilt thing. I'm just kind of like, you realize how many poor ass white people who you're telling them that they have failed at being white, because they've had this inner privilege that you're just kind of like everyone in my family's on meth or fentanyl or something. I'm like, you just pissed off a lot of poor ass white people who they're gonna vote for the candidate that resonates the closest to
Yeah.
them. And that's
So are you
2016. That was Trump for them.
You guys gonna vote this time around?
Mm.
Or
Yeah,
not?
why not?
We'll see
Might
what
as
happens.
well.
Like, cause I'm at the point where I'm not sure.
I'm
Yeah,
not
me
sure
too.
either.
Like,
I'm a vote. I'm
I
a
didn't
voter
vote last
too.
time, and
I'm
I'm
the
not
writing
sure this
Jesse
time.
Ventura because I've always
I
loved
just
that.
don't feel
motherfucker.
like.
I'm writing in Austin 316.
No,
No, that would be hilarious. All of a sudden you hear like the glass shattered.
Oh.
He just comes. To,
Oh no, that's one thing I hate is you know
guys
what?
like
I will
wrestling
be
here?
fucking pissed.
I fucking love wrestling, bro.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not,
Yeah,
I used
I'll talk
to.
some
I
old
grew
school
up on it.
wrestling.
All right, cool. Like, so wrestling for back in the day, like the recent stuff, maybe not so much.
I'm not into it recently because I'm just not caught up. I don't have time to watch.
I mean,
it.
the closest thing is like
I watched some of
AEW, and they still is way tamer.
I
So
do love Guy in Every Time I Die, whose shirt I'm wearing right now
Yeah.
is one of the guitar players is a wrestler in AEW. The
Hey, we have a
Butcher.
local musician that's a wrestler that wrestles up in
In AEW?
Keller.
Oh, nice.
No, from what's the name of the band? Erie Lane. Yeah, the lead singer of Erie
I
Lane.
fucking
Oh,
like
okay.
some old.
Yeah,
Like I remember some of my fondest memories as a kid. Because back when I was a kid, you can told me this shit.
But you
wasn't real.
loved it as a kid. We
Fucking-
all loved it
I
as a
fucking
kid.
love watching. Remember the Dudley Boys? I was just
Oh,
earlier.
yes.
I watched the Dudley
That-
Boys put Mae Young through a
that
table.
was a
again
great-
today. Just
that-
I
that
just
was
thought
a-
it was like it's so
You
ridiculous.
want to talk about
like,
racial unity? The Dudley Boys, man. Like that's a tag team.
77-year-old
I'm
woman
gonna tag
put
you.
through a table. I'm
My
just like,
brother,
I
get in
love
here
it.
and fight for
I
me.
fucking love it. What's your favorite
No.
wrestling memory? Because you got some years on me, but I've seen a lot of the
So
old
here's
footage.
what I used to always love. I love when Jake the Snake would show up
with Snake.
and he would come out. He'd be carrying a bag, and like there would always be like say Hogan and Andre would be out there on the mat going nuts, and then he would come walking out with a snake or with his bag, and he'd just toss it on the mat,
And everyone just scattered.
and everybody'd freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "What the hell?" And some like boa would come out, that's not going to do shit to anybody.
Yeah.
But they're all like, "Oh my god, there's a snake in the mat." I loved that. I was
Yeah.
like he would just come up and stop everything down.
Yeah.
And the announcer would be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! There's a snake on the mat. What are we gonna do?"
Yeah. What about you? What's your favorite one?
Man, as much as I love this wasn't as a kid, I do love the Jake the Snake redemption story, thanks to Diamond Dallas
Yeah.
Page, who
Yeah.
I loved as a kid. As an adult, I really fucking love Diamond Dallas Page and what he's done with his DDP yoga and
Yeah.
helping
Yeah.
people get their lives together. Because to me, that's punk rock as fuck right there. But as a kid, the wrestling, man, I've always loved Bret Hart. He was always just
Straight laced.
Gentleman Chris Adams.
just well, that's the thing is Bret Hart could be either he wasn't like a super villain, but he could be a villain
Yeah,
or
he
he
could
could be
play
a
it.
Well,
heel
there was Jake
or
was
not.
that way though too. He would be like,
Yeah,
"What side are you on?"
yeah.
You don't know who
There's
you're
some people that were
fighting for.
permanently bad.
Yeah.
but
Mark Henry.
man,
Yeah.
I guess my favorite memory.
Stone Cold, I think, was probably the most. I was just like, oh, wrestling just got badass. Got a little bit more
I remember
real.
Shelton Benjamin. Remember that match, Shelton Benjamin versus Shawn Michaels
Oh yeah.
during the tournament, and like Shelton Benjamin was the Intercontinental Champion. That was the first time I remember because I was still going back and I was seeing some things. I hadn't really seen any pay-per-views at the time. That was the first time I saw something in the ring that wasn't just like way over the top. That was like, holy shit, when he jumped up there and he super kicked him
Because
in
they
midair.
didn't like each other.
In real life?
I don't think they did.
Well,
and
Shelton
it
Benjamin was a
turned
bad
into
guy.
Fight like it was an actual fight.
I don't know. Was it? I thought that
don't
was all
know.
planned.
Was it?
I don't know. We'll have to look.
Because there was some shit that looked
Shelton
like
Benjamin-
real shit
Shelton-
didn't landed.
Well, Shelton Benjamin is such an amazing performer who never got his due. But like most of the black wrestlers didn't get their due if you really look at it back. But he's just so athletic, he was a ridiculously athletic human being. But that was like one of the first appearances, like that one, and then watching basically the Dudley Boys just throw any chick through a table. When I was a kid, I used to love that shit.
They would
Stacey
al- why would
Kleber,
they always
Stacey
grab girls?
Michelle McCool,
Always
any
grab
chick
the women.
just
They're like a
boom.
female walks in, we're gonna throw them through a table.
boom. It was great. It was
It's ridiculous.
hilarious.
All right, I had two things I wanted to throw out before we end this show. Have you guys been looking at the Chaz?
The Chaz.
No, I wanted to get
I've
into
been
this some.
Kind of paying attention.
What the hell is the Chaz?
Why is it called Chaz? What's that
It-
stand
it
for?
is
Capitol
the-
Hill Autonomous Zone,
Yes.
Oh, you mean
in Seattle.
Oh man,
which is
That's just
from
kinda badass.
what I listened to
Kinda
Tim
badass.
Dillon. He interviewed Katie Herzog,
kind of badass.
who's a lesbian that
Did he
dared.
go up there?
No. Katie Herzog lives
Okay.
around there, and in the past, she dared to talk about people who transitioned and transitioned back, and she got excommunicated from her super woke community and all this shit. But what she was saying is that that area of Seattle is historically like basically the neighborhood in Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gentrified and
I
full
went
of
in
gays.
there. It's weird. It's a cool area.
Yeah.
It's a very cool area.
So
The
and
time I
it's-
went up to Seattle,
it's
it was
that-
a very cool area.
And
but
so
it's
when people
strange.
post about certain things, I know this one guy who I follow him on Twitter. I follow a lot of, you call them problematic people on Twitter because I want to know about what their story. I know the left story. I know what they're going to say about anything. To me, that's just I know they're pre-programmed to say what they are about Trump and
Yeah.
anything about anything. I get it. That's why on Twitter I follow the right to far right on things because I want to know what they're
What you're up against
or
is-
the Glenn Greenwalds, the people and the heretics of the left who dare say anything that doesn't conform with their, and I hate saying this, but narrative about there's some buzzwords I'm over, but you have to say them. But like people that say like Glenn Greenwald is super left, but he disagrees with the Russiagate, Obamagate thing, but so with the Chaz thing is there's people
Now
going
Chop,
out there.
right? It's Chop now, isn't it? Didn't they change the
They're
name
trying
to Chop? or-
to.
They're trying to, but it's still Chaz as of today.
Yeah,
So what's Chop
I don't
supposed
know.
to be?
I don't.
Capitol
Capitol
Hill
Hill of people?
It's something of P because they kicked within. Well, okay, so 2 days you had Roz,
Brad Ross, yeah.
and he was their leader. Do you know Roz? Have
No.
you ever met him?
No,
He's a
Roz
hip hop guy.
Simone.
no, I never met him.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask. Pretend
Wait,
like
Shabazz?
we're pretending like we're at an Asian restaurant.
you mean
Do you
like-
know Raz?
Like Shabazz?
No, he's the guy that's leading this Chaz
Oh, shit.
revolt,
Nah, man.
and then they kicked him out because he was too radical.
Oh wow.
They said you're too radical. So basically what it is they took over 6 city blocks
Yeah.
of an area up there in the middle of Seattle, in
True.
the heart of Seattle.
That's historically like a gentrified neighborhood area.
Yeah.
In case
And
you
everybody's
didn't hear.
cool with it. They fenced it off, said we are no longer part of the United States. They immediately kicked out their leader. They built a police force. And as of today, according to our Austin Bureau JJTM producer, last night a dumpster was on fire and they had to call the Seattle County Fire Department to put it out because they couldn't do it themselves. From everything I've read, I'm watching this because I'm really.
Did you see that video of
This
the
is
guy that
intriguing.
got his shit
It's a
broken
trip.
into and was yelling at the top of his lungs, like
Yeah,
crying?
and everybody's like, "Meh,
Oh, you don't
I
have the
care."
cops here. And
Okay.
then one girl
No one
comes
can
up
do
and
anything.
steals a Coke while he's
Yeah.
yelling.
Yeah,
And no one can do
I saw
anything.
that the
Yeah.
other day.
But what they're running out of food, so they're already begging for food, and it's just
It wasn't
amazing
well
to
thought out.
watch
It wasn't
what would
well thought out.
happen. You're in the middle of a, I don't know. It's not a top 20 market.
No, it's a huge city though.
Yeah, Seattle's a huge city, but you've decided to make your own country that's separate of the United States, and how much you're already calling on the United States to help
When-
you out.
If you were serious
Aren't
about
they
that
get- aren't
shit,
they
you would have
shaking
gone
down
off in the
public
fucking
businesses, too?
wilderness and been self-sufficient from the get-go. But no, you weren't serious about this.
Yeah,
It's
so
a huge
far.
fucking joke.
Have you seen
What
their
was that
farm?
Netflix special?
farm
Yeah.
is a
that
joke.
where they went with the Netflix special where the people from what's it called? They went to Oregon. They did better.
Yeah, yeah, no, they
Hell,
did.
the
they
people in New
survived.
Mexico
Was it called-
that build
what was it
Earth
called?
ships are doing better because they
Yeah.
have a design template of what they want to fucking do.
It's a badass idea,
They're
but
not ready.
I don't
They're
see.
not ready. They're
let's-
not organized
let's
enough.
pretend
Yeah.
like Magnolia did
What's
this.
the name of that?
Oh, we
Wild
failed.
Wild
we
Country.
don't have enough shooters
you
on
know-
Magnolia.
Do you
The
know
Wild,
how
Wild,
much
Wild
a person
Country.
would laugh at
All
that?
they care
Oh,
about is
There
the
ain't
cheap
enough
Lone
killers
Star
on
and
Magnolia
PBR.
nowadays. This
Nobody
isn't
wants to
1998.
garden.
You
They
know what?
want
I
$2
encourage Magnolia to
PBRs.
do that just for my own entertainment. Please do
Please
that.
do it.
They'd be hilarious.
You
to
know
watch.
what, Magnolia? If you decide to do this and you need
We
people to
gotta-
protect you, I will
full
come down
support.
there with my entire arsenal and
Yeah.
hang
So,
out with you guys.
you know what's funny is talking about like so
You won't be
last time I
allowed
was,
in.
was it last week I was here and we were talking about Antifa and all that shit. And I was just talking about all this shit that's going on, especially with the Chaz thing and Antifa. you're just going to give more promotion to the side that's against that. So I mentioned how I was watching Andy Knows Twitter follows and how much he fucking hates Antifa and all that shit. So I remember when I was here, he had 408,000 Twitter follows. So that was a week ago, right? That was a week ago.
Yeah, there's a week ago. What's he up to now?
He's at now 431,300, 431.3K.
So it's been good to him.
So
been good.
exactly, because I'm like, when this shit happens, you are giving more attention to the side that does not agree or reports on that hates or whatever that side.
So,
and
Juma,
so
that's what you need to do.
And
What are you
that's
on
one thing
with
I
your
hate
Twitter?
about.
How many do you get on the gram?
On what, me or
Yeah.
JDTM?
Well, Jerry Jones town.
I don't even know.
Oh.
He takes care of all that stuff.
What's that?
The
Instagram followers.
Oh yeah, let's see, man. It's a good
I'm
question.
very selective.
I
with my
crossed
stuff.
over 1,000, and I just feel like the shit.
Yeah,
It's just 1,000.
that's good.
We don't have
That's
1,000.
I don't think we're at 1,000. We got a ton of Facebook,
Yeah, you do. Yes,
and
dude.
we got a ton of Twitter, but we don't have a ton of.
That's one thing. I don't
We
think
have
a lot of people take into
331
account.
followers, but we haven't really
is-
worked it that hard either.
Yeah, we post stuff every once in a blue moon.
Well, Instagram is like the cleanest at this point. Twitter's a fucking minefield.
God,
Facebook ain't shit. Like
Twitter's
Instagram is
insane.
It is
Instagram
insane.
I hate
is like
when-
the closest you can get to.
This is
just
one
like
thing I hate
calmness.
that people
So-
judge what they see and don't see is like based on an algorithm, which I saw
That's
like an
stupid.
argument that like even an algorithm is a form of censorship. And I'm
It
just
is.
kind of like, that's a great point, but there
That's
your
been my
entire
argument the whole time.
when you sit on your couch and refresh Facebook over and over and over again, and you see a very limited thing, I'm like, I think of all the friends I have and pages I follow on Facebook and the things I don't see. And if I want to see that someone has recently posted on a page and I have to look that up, but if I'm fucking dumb enough to believe that Facebook is fair with their algorithm or any social media platform where I can refresh, like there's some pages that I like in my head, I specifically go to that page because I don't trust the algorithm for shit. Because the thing is, like, I don't even want to shit on someone designing the algorithm because how do you design that kind of shit?
Well, the thing is
And-
like if you scroll through Facebook, you'll
Like,
see
what is an honest algorithm?
once you
anyways?
pass through your first 20 posts, you start seeing things from 4 days ago.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's stupid.
And so that's when I'm just like,
It's
fuck
totally
nuts
dumb.
to this. I'm signing up.
Yeah,
This is
What was the other
bullshit.
thing you were gonna ask?
There were real quick. I wanted to touch on before I get deep. I wanted to touch on the Supreme Court ruled on Monday that gay and transgender workers were protected in their workplace.
I've heard
That
that's
makes
good.
sense. That
and
seems like normal shit. I don't
Duh.
know. That's
I had a very
But
progressive
it's very
comedy
weird
fan,
for all of us that are like.
That's
I
normal.
figured that was already happening.
Yeah, I
My
did
buddy
too.
Jake,
I just figured
who's
that y'all were
super
good.
progressive, said that
Thought
wasn't
y'all were
even
good,
really
bro.
a good thing.
Like,
Well,
thought you were good, B. Like, I
well,
don't know.
The headline is good, but I've even had progressive people I know. A buddy of mine who's from Austin moved to New York. He even said, he goes, "That's shit." When you actually dive into it, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, my question is, they're protecting the workplace.
I don't
It
even
says
know
they're-
about
they're-
that,
They're protecting the
so-
workplace for discrimination,
Yeah.
but do they still get all the rights? Do they still get? Because that was the thing that Trump wanted to cancel, like early last week, was he wanted to make sure that the LBGTQ category of people didn't get the same access to health benefits and what is it, like 401k and all that shit. Does this protect that with the workplace
fucking
discrimination,
know.
or is it
I
just
haven't
because
looked into it.
I'm not a lawyer.
I saw
don't know.
something
I've looked
about
through
it.
some stuff,
I saw
and I've
something
listened
about
to
it.
news stories. I don't know, like, does
But,
that protect them?
I
Do they get
rarely,
all that
I
stuff?
rarely click on things on
Yeah.
Facebook. That's the last time I saw it. And I was like, I
Because
just,
they don't get ads for it.
well, no, then it just gets you in the loop. Like,
I have
what am I
a fear
reading?
that
I'm
headlines
at the point
really.
where I'll read something,
Yeah.
an article, I'll click on it, and it's just like before 30 seconds into, why am I reading this? How important is this to you? Like,
Yeah.
real, like they should have rights. That's the end of the story. All right, and I'm done with it. Like, even going outside, I'm already at the point.
But
I'm like
what
an old
sucks-
man. I just go outside. I'm like, do I want to deal with humans?
It's
No.
always super. It's always way more complicated
No.
that a headline can summarize in a sentence.
Totally.
And that's just the reality of the situation. And I think a lot of people form their worldviews off of headlines, but when they just don't want to get into the minutia, which I understand because it's full of legalese, it's full of a lot of hard to pronounce words that we don't have the full grasp and definition of. And a lot of people's, they view the world through headlines, because actually getting into the meat of the matter is very complicated, and you need a special kind of degree to really fucking understand it.
And like
and
we
that's
showed
where people
last
like me
week,
just fucking check out and just be like, I'll understand this shit. I'll talk shit about bands. That's what I know about.
like we said last week, sometimes the headlines isn't even right.
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
Whole, a Soho Rolex store was robbed, and then you read the story, and it's like, oh yeah, no watches were stolen.
Yeah, and you're like,
what the fuck? Really?
What was the point of that? Yeah.
Is there still Coke in there?
Yeah, man.
Coca-Cola, by the way.
Coca-Cola. And then the real last thing I wanted to talk about was Dallas, because we're back here local.
214.
Dallas today. There's two things they
I'm
did.
a 972
was they
kid
had
myself.
this is Pride Month.
That's just that area codes just want to divide you.
They do.
What was that?
In
A
the tax
That was a
districts.
whole bit of a Seinfeld episode, right? They just want to divide you.
So there's two things. Like where this is Pride Month.
The globalists just want to divide you with area codes.
Today is the 16th, which is we're now past midway through the month. And today they voted on flying a pride flag in downtown Dallas for the rest of the month for Pride Month. Shouldn't you have done that last
beginning of it?
fucking month?
Yeah.
And gotten prepped for this?
Well, they kind of got sidetracked with COVID and protests.
No, Dallas is fucked up.
Yeah, they
It's
are.
a problem. And then
You're
the
right.
other thing they did is today they classified racism as a public health crisis. You can't take a pill for racism. You can't take an injection for racism. How is it a public health crisis?
You can't get a racism vaccine done?
You can't get a racism
Damn, I wanted
vaccine.
that one. I wanted the racism vaccine.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was hoping so.
Where do you get that? At Walmart?
I'll take that. It'll finally
They
cure
did that
me
at
of my
CVS?
whiteness.
What is that bullshit?
Yeah.
How do you define racism as like? That's why I made I knew it was
Mental
not gonna get
illness?
that many likes, but I made a post saying I was asymptomatic for the white people racism virus.
Dallas heard your
'Cause I saw
Dallas
I
City
saw
Council
pictures
saw your
of
post.
protest signs saying racism is a virus. It's a mental illness or something. Which one, just is a disservice to actual mental illness. And you know what? Maybe if someone was super far right but understood the wokeness of everything and was just kind of like, guys, it's not my fault. I suffer from a mental illness known as racism. You could
It's not a
totally
mental
co-opt.
illness.
You could totally co-opt.
Yeah, what's the angle
whole,
here?
The whole woke thing.
It's very weird. What's
with
the angle?
Yeah, where are you
There's got to be
going with
some kind of
this?
weird angle. No,
I'm just talking
that's
about
what he's
how
saying. He's
people
like,
are
where-
manipulated.
Yeah.
You can
No, but
easily
he makes a good
manipulate
point.
people. Hey, let's discredit all racism by calling it a mental illness that we now have to be diagnosed and prescribed to treat. Let's just do that. That's what dumb shit like this does.
Hold on.
You open the window
Hold
to
on.
that.
I did know someone in junior high that had Tourette's and did yell the N-word.
Really, yeah.
So I guess
That's what someone
Thomas?
but he also threw the C word out and the
Yeah.
F word out
Matt
in
Thomas?
the middle of stuff. So I understand. I guess that could be a mental illness, but
when
what
governments
the
do
a
dumb
public
shit like
health
that.
crisis? A public health crisis is
There's an-
fucking COVID. It's not.
Yeah, there's some kind of angle.
racism.
No,
You're
there's an angle.
inviting-
There's some kind of weird angle. Why
You're
would they do that?
inviting extreme examples and ideologies like what I said, which was purely in jest.
They're allowing an excuse.
Yeah, you're excusing it.
Yeah.
You're excusing and opening up a window for someone.
I would like to know who's pushing this.
Someone saying, "Oh, racism's a mental illness. It must be treated with medical professionals." And
So,
it's
hold
so-
on,
yeah.
hold on.
That's the slippery
I
slope
pull
that I
up-
see now.
I pull up to Victory Plaza right there in front of the AAC where
Yeah.
WFA is. I'm in a van. I pull out a cross. I burn it. And is an ambulance supposed to come pick me up
Yeah, 'cause
from
you're-
doing that
you're-
because it's a public health crisis?
mentally
That's
ill.
exactly what we're saying. There's some kind of weird angle
Like,
with
it
this
makes
because it makes
no
no
fucking
sense.
sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
At
We'll see,
all.
we'll see what happens. We're in.
Yeah, I
some-
want to see. I want
this
to
is some
know.
weird shit. That
I also want to
to
know who's behind that. Like, who's the one that's powered?
Public
That's
health
ramrodding that.
crisis.
There's
I
got to
don't
be
know.
some kind of force behind it with an angle, because it sounds to me on the outside looking in of that whole thing, it sounds like they're
what
just
you
making an
need-
excuse.
What we need is more. What was the
Why do
guy
you
that
wanna
was been
give
on
racist
Rogan?
an excuse?
Is it Daryl Dawkins that Joe likes bringing up all the time? The black blues musician who got Klan members to like give him. He, I guess, deconverted or
Hold on.
correct. He got
All
Klan's
right,
guys.
who's calling? What's going on?
We
going on
even
here?
have a phone call.
Your mistress?
I'm putting
Okay.
you on speaker.
Who is it? Susie?
Hi, Susie.
Hi, yeah, it's Susie. Hi, Susie.
Hold on.
And
Can
it's
we hear
fucking
her?
Susie,
Hold on.
because of course it is.
Can you talk?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we
you're on
can
the
hear
show.
you.
Unfortunately, I know I'm
Okay.
just joking.
You're on a call.
So, racism is a public health crisis because of Black people getting redlined and moved into neighborhoods that are food deserts. So they don't have, they're higher to have diabetes. They have less access to health care. That's why racism
So it's
is
almost like
a public
gerrymandering.
health crisis.
Deregulation.
Yeah.
So is that the reason that the Dallas City Council put out for it? Because
No.
I honestly
think so.
haven't seen a reason. They just said that today they're deeming racism as and the news
Public
didn't
health crisis.
as a public health crisis, but the news didn't go on.
Is that because of, so you're saying basically systematic racism can cause health problems? And you're right. If you follow the
Yes.
money and
Yeah.
stuff, and you
That's what I'm
follow
saying.
and you
Because
follow
good food doesn't
gerrymandering
exist
stuff.
at gas stations. It doesn't.
Right. It's kind of like, why is there more liquor stores and pawn shops in
So you know,
areas that
my
have higher-
granddad had a grocery store back in the '60s in Oak Cliff.
So
And
it's
they
not
pushed
saying
him out.
it's not saying
our
that
first
like white
participating
people
call.
You
are.
can't
Yeah.
say I've got racism and it's an excuse for something.
Yeah.
It's saying that
But that's what it
racism
sounds like.
is a
That's what
public
sucks.
health
Is
crisis
that's what it sounds
because
like.
of
Sounds weird.
Like there's
what
a
it is
discount.
doing to Black people.
This is
Guys,
Susie, right?
I was diagnosed
That's
with
crazy.
racism.
This is
I was diagnosed.
yeah, and that's what's
Some
silly
stuff.
about it.
I
is
just
it
didn't
opens
want
it
you
up
guys
to-
floundering around and not understanding what that meant.
So
But
it's not
that's-
like something that's covered by insurance. Hey, my racism problem's covered by
We got a
insurance,
flare
right?
up.
Yeah.
I got a
Covered,
flare up
come
of
on.
racism.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to call United Healthcare and see if I get a deductible.
I
On
need to
my
get this
racism.
racist sore off my
Hush.
dong.
No, and that's what sucks. It's like there's probably regulatory reasons as to why a grocery store can't open up in a food desert. There's got to be a reason why.
Well, you know what? I got to thinking about something on
Decent
Saturday.
food access can't be
Explain
in an
the
area.
food desert thing too, say Susie. What is that?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
she's
that's
a pro.
important.
Does she
She
already hang
lives
up?
in a food desert. Are you there?
I sure do live in a food desert. It's true.
All right. Well,
So why can't they open up decent like grocery stores or like farmers markets in those
I'm gonna Google
areas?
it.
Is it a regulation issue?
No, it's not a regulation issue. It's a theft issue. Stores can't stay in. They can't stay above. They can't float because there are too many homeless people and poor people who don't have the income, so they go into the local Walmart or the local Fiesta and steal what they need to eat, and the stores can't.
all right.
They
Google.
won't make money,
So
so they
they-
have to close.
Google
We
says
need
it's a
more
noun.
cops.
It's an urban area in which it is difficult to buy affordable or good quality fresh food.
So
Many poor people live in food deserts where they have
Yeah.
plenty of food, but none of it's healthy.
on
Which-
Saturday, I brought up the point that they're building all these apartments in the near south side,
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
south of I-30, down where our places like Mass and a shipping and receiving are.
Besides restaurants, where the fuck do you get food around there?
Where's the
Maybe
nearest
the
grocery
goddamn
store?
QT.
I think
Maybe.
it's that one on Hemp Hill, right?
Yeah.
You
Hemp
have
Hill
to
and
go down
Berry
to
or whatever.
Hemp Hill and Berry has the Walmart neighborhood store,
Yeah.
and then it's a Super Americata just a couple of blocks up. And
Uh-huh.
And
that's
you know what
it.
sucks is my job that I've recently gotten fired from. Our marketing agency
What the
that
hell
was
did you
promoted
do?
by I give out cigarette coupons,
Wow.
but specifically, and
He
I'll
killed
call
kids.
specifically, and I'll call them out on this because they're doing a good thing. Natural American Spirits, the cigarette company, wanted us to, and this thing, they could not promote this legally. They gave us money to give to Bonton Farms, who had, they wanted to fight the food desert problem because they had a community garden in Deep Ellum, and then someone in Seagoville who owned a concrete company gave them like 60 square acres, and we would go there and buy them supplies, and we would actually go there and physically work on their farm to help create food that they could sell at a farmer's market. That they also employed former homeless people, people with drug problems. And so that's what sucks about me getting fired, is that Bonton Farms no longer gets the money that we were giving to them. But also, yeah, like food deserts, like that's also like a big issue. Is gentrification just makes that an even bigger issue, because they don't, you want to help the homeless people, and that's an issue I don't know how to fix. But also, yeah, you want people to be able to afford. And
Do
good
homeless
vegetables
fit-
can be grown cheaply. Like they can be given to fucking people.
I don't think homeless fit into the grand gentrification
No, they
scheme
don't.
of
God
things.
damn it. They just need to be pushed further and
Just
further and
because
further
they're
away.
Yeah, and
Like
that
Austin.
sucks. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Well, I put a link in the show notes of a national map that NPR put out of all of them over the country.
That's
back
why
in
community
2000
gardens are
2013.
always a great
just
thing.
amazing
and
that
that's also one reason I'm fucking pissed that our company stopped helping, or
What the hell?
made all of us fired.
Sorry,
It's
it's my
because
dog.
I loved that we had a specific manager called a community manager whose job was
Susie hung
to
up.
give money to buy supplies for Bonton Farms.
That's your number one fan?
And shout out to Bonton Farms for
She
what they did.
listens and watches.
They grew food and employed people with past, drug problems and
Mhm.
criminal backgrounds. They gave them a farming job. They gave them sustained employment, something that had all net good. Just growing food, selling it to people, giving it away, and it also going into the food desert areas. And that's also one thing that I really liked. I like my job because it paid and all that shit, but also really like once every few weeks we would get paid to go actually do farm work in Seagoville, which is where the big farm was,
And a
across
prison.
across the street from the concrete factory. This guy gave, it was like 40 to 60 square miles of farmland.
I know where that is
He
actually.
paid, like it was like a $1 a year kind of a thing,
Yeah.
just like pay this and it's yours.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want developers coming in.
I thought that was a cool ass deal they did.
And that's one thing I'm like, well, fuck. Like I've literally had conversations with my boss Mike, who was our community manager. His job, we would go around Deep Ellum and pick up cigarette butts and pick up trash just to keep the neighborhood nice looking. And we would also go to this farm and help them do farm work and buy them supplies and build things for them. And that's one thing I'm like, I'm really pissed that I like my job, but we also did that. But also, yeah, the food desert thing's a serious problem, and it's thanks to
weird.
fucking assholes that this gentrification shit, which I've been railing on from the get go.
But I work all over Fort Worth.
Yeah.
My job not entitles me, but it makes me drive all over Fort Worth, downtown, south side, north side, west side, east side, all over the place. And it's amazing when I'm sitting in an area and I'm like, where can I go for lunch? Or where is the nearest grocery store for these people where these new apartments are going in? And it's like they got to drive 8 to 10 miles out of the way. And I believe the national statistic is that you should be within 8 miles of a grocery store.
Depending on demographics and shit.
Yeah.
If you're out in Podunk anywhere,
But there
then
is
anything
so many
sucks, but-
areas where you're
Yeah.
not within 8 miles of a grocery
At
store.
DFW, that
In
should
the-
not be an issue. And it
Inside,
is.
I'm going to say this, inside Loop 820, there are so many areas.
Like
where you're
around
not that
Aussie
close.
Rabbit, like that area just, I don't know. It sucks for anybody. I don't know what the fuck's around there besides shit bars and.
There's an Albertsons at John T. White in 820.
Okay.
And then other than that, you got to go to Arlington or go to, East Chase.
Yeah.
And 30.
Luckily, where I live, I can go to Walmart,
freaking
Kroger,
ridiculous.
Tom Thumb. I have some options. Walmart,
Well, like from
neighborhood
here,
market.
I'm 5 blocks from Kroger.
Yeah.
So I've got six supermarkets within reaching distance any direction.
Supermarkets are
Which is
great.
crazy.
As long as, like my sister said,
Live in
stay
Nose
on the
Hills.
outside
Be cool.
of a supermarket. If you
Everybody
stay-
move here.
If you stay on the outside of a supermarket, that's where your best, that's where the essentials are. Shit inside, it's full of sugar, all this bullshit. Stay on the outside, it's where your produce, your meats, your cheeses.
Yeah.
Stay there.
Yeah.
Go on the inside, you get a bunch of refined sugar, horse shit your body doesn't need. And we need
Where do you
more-
shop?
Yeah. Chime in.
Well, now I get all my shit prepped. I get meal prep now.
What kind of bullshit is that? Look at you, 1%er.
I'm not a 1%.
You got a guy making your food.
It's actually
What kind of shit is
cheaper
that?
than you think. 'Cause I get a discount code too, so so it's actually cheaper than you think.
Oh, you
so
got the hookup.
what I do is at the top of the week
Mhm.
I get about 6 to 7 pounds of either chicken or ground turkey.
That's good.
Or
What's your intake right now?
like a day?
Uh-huh.
About a pound a day.
Not pound, but how much carb are you taking in?
Oh man, well a lot.
What about caloric
A lot?
intake?
Well, the
You
reason
got
it's
it
a
mapped out
the
at
reason
that
it's a lot. I just say a lot because
You're
you
moving.
can't get enough of it when you're actually like doing like
Yeah.
something like boxing. You cannot get enough. Like there have been days where I hope my trainer's not listening to this, but I just broke it and I just like I'm just gonna eat. I'm gonna get some fast food. I'm gonna get Taco Bell, whatever. Nothing changes. Like when you're out there that much,
When you're doing
sweating,
it, yeah.
it's just like no wonder boxers are so skinny.
Well,
It's
that's when
just
you-
like I don't know. I could eat all day like this. As long as I'm training as hard as I'm training, it's not coming back unless I quit training. Like
Well-
notice how when Mike Tyson quit fighting, he blew up.
Yeah.
He just instantly blew up. But it's like when you're training, I mean, you can pretty much eat crazy. I don't really recommend it.
That's
It's
what
not
those
gonna make you
Olympians
feel
are
great.
doing, like 20,000
Like you
carb intake, and you're like, what?
can, you can. I mean, I have a whole tub of the carb powder. I have to get it in that way too. I mean, I eat that bread. I do eat that sometimes, depending on how sore I am. But usually, just the carb powder and the protein. I mean, just however many grams it is in the scoop. I think in
How much are you jacking off?
a day.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always
All this-
jacked off.
All this
I-
protein and everything you're taking in,
I've,
man.
I've always
Goddamn.
jacked off at the same clip. I'm jacking off less now. I'm so tired.
Oh,
You're
you're
jacking
wore
off
out.
more than once
Can't
a day.
even move your arms.
You got a problem.
No, what?
If you're boxing, it's
I
hard
think,
to move
like,
your arms.
Are you kidding me? When I was a
I don't think-
teenager, my
Well,
my
yeah,
record was like
teenager.
7.
All right, yeah.
And as
My
an
advice
adult,
is for
it's been
anyone
like
21 and
5.
up.
Like
Yeah,
I can,
21 and up, once a day.
Seven's the
is-
record, right?
I can still bust out like 4 or 5 a day. I just don't really feel like busting out 4 or 5 a day.
I think you're
You
sitting
need
in
more
the
hobbies,
777
man.
club.
I got other stuff to do. I could still beat
Yeah.
off 7
777
times a
club.
day.
Is that 7 times a day for 7 days a week?
I could
Yeah.
do that. I
Jesus.
could do that
No,
shit.
thanks.
I don't want to do that. I just feel like I'd be all no serotonin, no juice. Just get up, just
So let's talk
I
about
think you're
big
discounting
thing.
the human
Or what?
orgasm. when
What's
you
the
do it
biggest
that
thing?
much.
when you fight.
Disrespecting it.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting anytime
Come on,
soon.
let's talk
man.
about it.
Anytime soon. I'm not fighting anytime soon. But it's in training
Come on.
right now. It's just, I don't have a
Are
date.
there any fights happening because of COVID?
There's one that's happening in September, I think. It's an MMA fight. I'm not sure
Well, that's
about
4 months away. You should be
uh,
good to go.
I don't know about that. Like, well, not for MMA because I don't know any jiu-jitsu.
Well, no,
You cannot do MMA with no jiu-jitsu. Period.
Not
You're gonna
you.
get your ass kicked.
Everybody should be good 4 months away. I would hope. I
At
hope
what?
we
At
would-
what? To just like box or just?
What are you
do-
talking about for COVID?
For
For the
yeah,
COVID?
COVID for fighting.
Who knows? Who knows? I don't know how they're gonna do it.
So
I
that's
mean,
that's why there's no boxing things going on is because of COVID.
not a
right?
lot. Not
But
a lot. I don't know.
most of the gyms are open though. Like
They're open, but you still got to
like
wear
the boxing
gloves.
gyms
You
and
got to
the-
wear gloves. And there's
You
some
know what
stuff
this
that's
guy's
off limits.
doing, right?
What, Muay Thai?
no, I'm thinking about doing Muay Thai for
You're
striking.
doing jiu-jitsu.
I'm doing jiu-jitsu.
I mean, that's a great one.
I
I
thought
mean,
you're-
that's what I haven't touched
Brazilian
yet.
jiu-jitsu.
But it's amazing. For
That's what he's
defense.
talking about.
You know what I'm doing?
Jacking off a lot.
Fucking street fighting, mother.
Fuck.
I'm from the
Oh,
streets of Hearst.
I have it, bro. I have it, man.
Back in my streets of Northern
I
Hills.
don't want no smoke, but like when
Yeah.
I was talking to my trainer, I was like, without MMA, like if you want, I mean, without jiu-jitsu, if you're gonna try to do MMA, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Because if someone can recognize you can strike and you can kick, the moment they take you down to the ground, I'm sure you notice this. Like a dude who's been training for jiu-jitsu for a couple months can decimate dudes that don't know anything. If they don't know anything that's going on, you're like a fish. Just go in there and
Yeah.
you just get totally destroyed. So I don't know any of that. So I'm not anywhere near ready for any type
Are
of
you
MMA
training at
fight.
Rex's gym?
I'm training with Rex personally
But
and,
not-
and another guy.
Not the Muay Thai gym?
No, I'm not going to the Turbo spot.
Are
or
they
I'm not
open?
going to Coach
In
T
about
spot.
a
They should be
year,
open.
in about a year, I'm gonna do some boxing too for
You-
striking.
Man,
and
I
some
would
Muay
tell you
Thai.
what. I will tell you.
I'm trying to decide between the two if I'm gonna do boxing or Muay Thai.
So hold on. So we can
Rex
have this
is Muay Thai,
conversation.
right?
He does both. But it depends on what you want to do. Are you trying to actually compete, or you just want to self-defense, or you just?
No, the main thing for striking is like the last few fights I got into. Went into that scene red mode where I don't want that anymore. I want to
Yeah.
be
Focus.
Yeah, to focus, and that's the main thing I want to work on. That
Did you
'cause
lose
I-
your last
I-
couple fights, or did you win them? See,
No, I
well,
did. I won.
Okay.
I mean, that's debatable.
Right.
One guy will say he beat his ass, and the
Right.
other guy will say. But the thing is, I want that. I want to get that part out of my system
Mm-hmm.
to where if I'm ever in a situation where there is no guns or anything and I have to protect my family or something,
Well,
that I'm not gonna lose my shit and just
in
go
some
see in
ways,
red.
Calm and controlled.
in some
Yeah.
way, it does like.
And I've heard boxing's the best way to do that.
It does fix it. I mean, because you're still gonna be like, I guess, mad or if someone tries to, or if someone's like threatening your life. But it's just like, it's
It helps
weird.
it.
You can control it more. At
Mhm.
first, I didn't realize what they were saying because people said I was loading my punches. Really, I was just trying to get them there quick because everyone was so quick. Like Rex is so damn fast. I know you see his size, but he's so fast and he hits way harder than you're fucking thinking.
Yeah.
And so when he would hit me, he's like, I'm just trying to get to him because he's just like it's nothing. You know, his stamina's crazy. I'm over here first round. I'm fucking gassed out, and this motherfucker's just dancing around me. But it took a while. But yeah, you can control it over time. And the sad part is, the more you fight, the better you just get at controlling it. This is normal adrenaline. You're mad. It's whatever.
Yeah.
You get used to other
How
people.
long have you been training in boxing now? With
Like,
him?
Only like 3 or 4 months. Not a long
I
time.
bet your conditioning's gone through the roof though.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely a lot healthier. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but it's just like I breathe a lot better.
No,
Yeah.
I move.
your body shape is different.
Yeah,
like I
I
said
mean-
earlier, when you walked into mass, I was like, "Is that?"
I mean, your
Is it
cardio
not?
goes to the roof.
And
Yeah.
Goes to the roof. And then,
Yeah.
like, honestly,
yeah,
if you were really
looked
gonna,
good.
if you really want to do it like a lot, I mean, then you can you could. I don't recommend this, but you could eat crazier because it's just like nothing stays on you. Like it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
falls off. It just fucking falls off. So it's like you can eat a little bit crazier.
It also with me too. The BJJs help my head. Like it's like you're almost too like you get a lesson in humility.
yes,
real
because you
quick.
get embarrassed really quickly.
Yeah, and then you're getting a lesson in just how to grow in something and learning something new.
Yeah.
And then you're the conditioning and stuff. Like you're almost completely zonked and you can't have a hot head because you're just
Yeah.
too damn tired from your
and
sessions.
it's just too much stuff going on. Like, but what I will recommend now, knowing what I know,
I think it's a positive way to deal with all this shit.
it's probably the best way to deal with all
I
that
think so,
shit
too.
because it's like it's the safest place when you're around people who know what they're doing and you're not in a gym that's going to get you fucked up. Because there are places that they won't, like when they'll put people in there that do this way too advanced, a dude who's not there yet, and so someone gets fucked up. It's like if you're in a gym where they control you, it's perfect. I mean, it's just like I know from what I know now. And just like seeing street fights, being in street fights, it's not a good idea to get in street fights. Just leave it alone. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you actually have to, because it's like too many factors. There
That's
can be
what
multiple
martial
people,
arts
there
treats
can be
you.
guns.
That's what it
there can
teaches
be
you,
knives.
too.
Like I don't want. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't want to fight nobody.
Yeah,
Shit.
that's
Just
the
leave-
last
just leave-
resort.
Just leave me the fuck alone. Like
This
so I don't
is
want
my
to be a part
last
of that shit.
resort. Suffocation, no breathing.
Breathing.
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome,
I don't give
man.
a fuck if y'all
Yeah.
keep quoting this song.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're doing that, man. Like
Helps me.
It definitely helps you. It changes your personality, especially if you keep doing something like that. That it's really difficult. You instantly get humbled because you know everyone goes in there. It's like, well, you know, you think, oh, I'm bigger than somebody. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
you're
Like
not.
I thought
No.
at least I'd be. I knew Rex. Was
I got something to tell you off the mic.
I knew Rex was gonna be faster than me, but I didn't
Yeah.
expect him to be that. And he looks it, but I didn't until like he actually
You
one time
felt it.
One time he caught me and I didn't have my chin tucked and I just saw him and my head flew back and he was like, "Whoa, you!" I was like, "We kept going." I'm thinking, I can't believe how hard this little motherfucker. He only 5'6". Motherfucker hit me so goddamn hard. I was
No,
like,
he's built like a shit brick house though.
"Oh yeah, man."
Yeah,
And
shit
he,
brick.
He does the
Brick
jiu-jitsu
house.
too. He does the jiu-jitsu too.
I
And
thought you,
he's strong, man. Like so, it's very humbling. It's like, man, honestly,
yeah,
I see you're upset, you're screaming and yelling, but let's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Like let's not.
How quick
Yeah.
did your first time going around, fucking around?
I got
How
beat
quick
up.
did you run out of air?
Oh, run out of air? Fucking halfway through the first round. Not even. It was
15
like
seconds in.
It was like a
10 seconds
3-minute round because you're going and your adrenaline's pumping and like you don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. You're not used to your body moving.
Is that what you're doing? Is 3-second or 3-minute rounds? Because that's what we do.
What we do is
when we roll.
me and Rex we do about 3 to 4 rounds a session. They're going to have to get
Yeah.
long because we're doing hour sessions now.
Time? How long?
3-minute rounds.
3-minute rounds.
Yeah, I shadow box at about 3-minute rounds for 3-minute rounds for 5 rounds
Yeah.
with the egg weights on and then those and weights and hand weights. So yeah, but it doesn't take long because you just like, especially the first time, you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking adrenaline's
Bear
already
gloves.
pumping.
Bear gloves, no weighted gloves.
No, I just do normal gloves,
Just
16
normal gloves.
ounces.
16 ounces. Okay.
And you know you don't know what you're doing, and you have no idea how you're just so amped up. You have no idea how quickly you get tired. And then once you see, I'm sure you've like gone back and seen street fights or thought of these street fights, and you just see it and just it looks clumsy. It doesn't look right. It looks bad. It looks like
once you get into it, you're like, that guy's man. He'd get wasted if he met anyone that he.
And
knew
also,
what they were
when
doing.
you see somebody that really knows how to hit somebody,
You're
and they
like-
get that you're like, you need to stay away from that motherfucker. Like that motherfucker knows what he's doing. Like you need to leave that guy alone.
And most boxers are that way.
Yeah, it's just like
a boxer. If you see someone that's, remember the video that was going around for a while where that guy that was bullying people at this boxing gym? Like, and that one kid got in the ring with him and just lit his ass up, and then the guy started to run outside of the ring, and he chased him outside of the ring.
Yeah,
and
he
still just beat his ass.
Did you know Art, the old drummer for Ex Mobius for a while?
I don't think so.
He was
I probably met him.
Born in Mexico City. He was raised as a boxer.
Yeah.
And we got drunk one night, and at the studio we had 2 pairs of boxing gloves, and we just
It's a
jacking
bad
around.
idea already.
Yeah,
I can hear
yeah,
where this
right.
is going.
I would never do that.
We've been
But I don't
drinking.
want to do that.
We've been drinking, having fun,
I don't wanna
and
do that.
it was like, all right, let's go, Art. Well, he didn't tell us
that he could box.
that since 8 years old,
he'd been doing it.
He had been trained to be a boxer up from like 8 to like 21.
Oh God!
And then he moved up to the States, and we're like, okay, well, we're drunk. You know, we've been drinking, we've been having fun, drinking whiskey, drinking beer, whatever. And we're like, all right, let's just see what happens. And, you know, we'll just chase each other around the shop. That guy went into fighter stance. He hit me in the head. Like, I was just like, okay, let's go. And he went, bam, hit me in the head.
I don't want to play no more.
Instantly saw stars.
Yeah.
I threw my shit in the air. I was like, And
Have you
he's
met
like-
those guys?
He's like, I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. And I was like, fuck.
Have you met those fighters
do see
that, like, I
stars.
don't know if it's Krav
You do
Maga
see stars.
or
When
if
someone
it's
gets you good,
jiu-jitsu.
it's like,
see
it's like
stars.
it's real quick. It's like a little like a flashes, like, and then it comes back. You're like,
It's
oh.
so fucking weird. I
Have
was
you-
like, wow,
Plus,
you
like,
do
oh,
see
get down.
stars.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's going down.
Have you ever wrestled or grappled or did anything with someone that, like, I don't know if it's Krav Maga or if it's jiu-jitsu or what, where they get your pressure points and they just fuck you up and,
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
and
you're
you're never,
done.
you're like,
No.
Where you
like
freeze.
I had a Marine
like
buddy that
everything
came-
just
yeah,
fucks
you're
you up.
just-
You're
it's
just
game
like,
over.
"Ugh,
Yeah.
I'm
I had a
done."
Marine buddy that came back and he was trying to get into what's their special forces, the Navy SEALs.
The Navy SEALs.
And he came back and just like it was funny for us to get drunk, kind of like you were talking about with your buddy, and then try to jump him.
Mhm.
And he would use all that shit, all
Just
that
turn around,
those
grab
fucking
you,
crazy ass pressure
and hit
points
you in
and
the
stuff,
pressure
and you
point,
just be like, ah,
and you just paralyze up.
like
and
piss
you're
your
like,
pants,
Oh, fuck.
cross your eyes, and you're like,
You've been hitting the kidneys
oh yeah,
and pissed yourself?
Well, I didn't piss myself.
Piss
but
blood.
Rex has hit me in the kidneys because Rex like
and then the liver.
he'll get me all up in the side, like definitely stomach, whatever's open, he'll go for. Usually,
Well, it's
I
from
try
the
to block my
back. You
head.
got to get hit from the back and
He's
the
got
kidneys.
me a couple times, like back there, and luckily he wasn't hitting me too fucking hard.
I
'cause
punched that motherfucker right in the balls.
it's-
Rex, you hear me? I'm punching you in the balls.
It was after everything was done, and I got in the car, went home, and everything. I was
You
chilling,
piss blood.
and then I would just sit there, just like, what the fuck is all this shit? Like all your shit's like
Yeah.
fucked up, like your neck, like from getting,
Dude.
like everything's like, oh shit.
You get hit in the kidneys, you feel that for a week.
yeah, you feel it's
Because
pretty bad.
and you can't piss right. You're like, what the fuck, man? Something's not right.
It's not going straight.
Yeah, I
Spraying.
can't get an erection.
Spraying.
Whoa.
But yeah, I'm glad you're doing it though, man. I'm glad that
I'm
it's
loving it.
It's giving you some type of
Yeah.
peace because it did the same for me.
It
just
wears
like,
me out.
It just it makes you more peaceful. It's just like, well, if it happens, it happens. But I'm really not looking for any type of altercation at all. Like I don't want any problem.
No, if you're
Yeah.
doing it just for working out and just for sport,
yeah.
that's the way to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's the only problem is once it gets out, once it gets known, you're gonna have dumb
People bucking up to
motherfuckers
you.
coming up to you, being like,
Show me
"Oh,
some
you're a
stuff."
boxer? Let's see what we can do, man. I've been drinking and
I
I'm
would
ready
back
to go."
down unless he actually was like trying to hit me. I'd just be like, have it. I don't feel like I need it. I don't have anything to prove in that sense. Like
yeah,
the
most of
other
the guys
people.
I see,
other
like
drunk motherfuckers.
all the videos,
Like, I don't have anything to prove. It's just
yeah,
like
all the videos that I've seen of stuff like that happen, and it's usually just like exactly what you're saying. People are like, "No, you don't. Let's don't do this.
yeah. Like,
You don't want to do this, man. You've had too much to drink.
Can we just like
Back
sit
off
down
a little bit." Yeah,
Speaking of the,
You got it. I'm a bitch.
You don't
All
want
right.
to do
yeah,
this.
Yeah, you got it.
Have you seen the John Jones footage from the riots?
yeah. When he took that kid's,
Where
was
he's
it
running up to
was
all
it-
these kids and
was it
taking
spray
their
paint
spray
or
paint,
yeah,
and they're like,
just slapping it out of
they're
his
like,
hand.
son of a bitch. They start spray
And
painting,
they
and they
realize
turn
who he
around,
is.
they're like, fuck, it's it's
John
John
Jones.
Jones.
And they just-
Fuck.
Yeah.
And they just hand it to him, he slaps it out of their hands, like, give me that.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Or imagine like a Mike Tyson doing something similar.
Yeah,
to that.
you're fixing
Like,
to tag
have you
something.
seen Mike
turn around,
Tyson
it's
like
Mike
training
Tyson.
the UFC fighters and just like he's still quick.
Dude, that video he posted a couple of
It's
weeks ago.
still so violent.
Good lord, you're
It's-
like, man, I feel
he's
sorry.
still terrifying.
Do you think he'll come back?
He's gonna
If he
come
wants
back.
to,
I
There's
mean,
he
talking
decides.
There's
I don't-
talking about.
I don't know what motherfucker's gonna fight him.
there's no more. No more ice.
You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck's gonna be
What's
brave
that?
enough to
I'm
fight
not
him?
I mean, there are people that want to. There's always that guy that's like, well, let me see what I can do.
I'll be running
That's not
around.
gonna be me.
Can you imagine?
It's not. I'm gonna be like, look, man, you got
Hey.
that shit. There's some people you just leave the fuck alone. Like, you know what they can do. You see
Yeah.
what they can do. He's like, you got it.
It's $2 million for you to step in the ring for Tyson.
For 10 million, I totally step.
$2 million.
Oh, no,
It's a lot of brain damage.
Not for two.
Fighting's become a sport.
10
There's no
mil.
point in fighting
2
anymore,
million,
'cause you
I'm
don't
in
know
there.
Who does
because
this
that's
shit
too much. You're too old for that. The brain damage that could cause to you. Like, it doesn't take a lot to really fuck you up.
Dude,
as hard as he hits,
All I have to
as
do
hard
is
as-
walk up and cover my head, and I'd still be knocked out.
Jesus, like, nah.
But
that's
a
not
lot of
worth it.
times they say, I mean, what if you like? Sometimes
He's
even
an
the way
old
they do
fuck too.
the way
Yeah,
they
but
do
he can-
payment
he's-
though is the way they set it up though. I'm pretty sure these fight contracts you can't just run around the ring.
Yeah, you gotta. Actually
You get like if
participate.
they see you do that, they're gonna think you're throwing shit.
They can dock.
yeah,
I don't give a
they
shit.
dock your pay.
Who are you, Marcellus Wallace? I don't give a fuck. I'll come hunt you down. I'll shoot you. You'll get fucked by the gimp.
What?
What?
No,
I think he's talking about Pulp
I don't-
Fiction.
I think
I am talking about
you
Fiction.
one fucks the gimp. I don't think
who
it's
said?
the other
Who
way
said?
around.
Zed's dead, baby.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. Well, guys, we have gone way fucking long,
Yeah,
and it's been fun.
yeah, it has been. It's always a pleasure to have you in, Juma.
Oh, thank
I've
you.
missed you.
Fucking
Oh,
badass.
that's sweet. It's cute.
You know, you've got an open door policy here.
Yeah, man. I just like to space it out. Like, let it be a thing. You know, every time we do this, I say something crazy enough that
You like to get drunk, say a bunch of crazy
I'm
bullshit,
not drunk now, but
and then wait a few months
But
for it
here's
to
the
come
thing.
back.
Here's the thing. I would say the same stuff sober.
You gonna go camping with us?
No,
Why not?
I don't want to go fucking camping with you.
We have mushrooms.
Smart man.
I'm good. I have mushrooms too.
We go hang out.
I'm good.
We'll camp out underneath the
not for me.
stars in the middle of nowhere.
How about I'll holler at you when I want to get into like I think the final phase of me for self defense is gun ownership and being like really handy with a gun, not just having a gun and
You want to go
just
shoot?
and it's like what? Yeah, I mean we can go shooting.
When I camp, I don't take guns.
Okay.
Well, I take
I
one.
mean, you want to go to the range because I've been to the range.
no.
Or we can.
if,
I wanna do
depending on
both.
where
I
I'm
wanna go
camping,
shoot and I
I will
wanna go
always have a
camping.
You wanna go
handgun
kill
on me
someone?
just in case
Yes.
there's
No,
a wild
not
animal.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
We
on
can
my-
load up
I
and
don't
go
need
kill
that
someone.
on my
Yeah.
If
psychic
you want to.
load.
Hold on, because camping and guns don't mix,
No.
Yeah.
It's the alcohol.
I imagine.
and alcohol. But I always have one just in case something shows up.
Yeah.
Because you never know when a
What
hog's
kind
going
of
to show up or a
hand,
snake.
handgun do you have? Is like because if a bear shows up, like an average handgun's not gonna be enough to stop it quick.
We'll have a 45 and a 40.
That'll get it. Oh, I'll get it. 'Cause
I'm
bear,
okay.
Bear, especially an enraged bear, they can take quite a bit before it's just like, all right, you know,
45, it's 7+1, so we're good.
you good.
And then
Yeah,
I can
but we can do that.
change mags really fast.
We can go shooting because that's why I want to, get to like actually being able to.
You wanna go
handgun
shoot?
Probably sure.
Next time I go shoot, I'll take you out because
Let me
I
know.
have.
I can try some different things.
You want to shoot an MP5? You want to shoot
Haven't
a
done
CZ
that. I would
Scorpion? You
love
want to
to do
shoot a SKS?
I'm down for that too.
You
I
want
want
to
to go
shoot
shoot too.
That'd be
Okay.
fun. We can do that. I have nothing wrong or hunting. I have no problem with hunting, especially if there's,
Hunting's a giant pain in the ass.
especially if there's especially if there's like a lot of that shit. Like there's a lot of that. Yeah, go ahead and kill it.
Now you can take a guide where it's not a pain in the ass. You
Well,
don't have to fucking do
the
all that
problem
crazy
is,
shit.
if you go out and we
Drink
shoot
the
a
deer's
deer,
blood. Drink
well,
the deer's blood, Dustin.
If we go shoot hogs, that's fine
Mhm.
because we can just shoot the hog and leave them because that's what you do. Because
Mm-hmm.
hogs are a fucking pain in the ass.
Hello, PETA.
I don't give a fuck about PETA. I don't give a fuck what you think, PETA.
Well, if there's a lot of them, no. And hogs are dangerous. They
Hogs
can
are
fucking
dangerous,
kill you.
and they are fucking up farmers' land,
And
and
they
they
will
need
kill
to
you.
be thinned out. But if we
Yeah.
go shoot a deer, it's a giant pain in the ass. You got to
Mm.
field, strip it. You got to get everything ready. You got to take it back to a processor. You got
I
to
bet
wait
you can.
months.
I bet
then
you can eat
gotta
that
go
shit
back, get the meat.
forever.
You gotta pray over it.
The good thing is the meat.
It lasts
Blood
forever.
on
You got to
your
eat the
cheeks.
heart, but
Drink.
if it's your first
Drink
kill,
the
you got to eat the
blood.
heart.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just drink the blood.
No, you got to eat the heart. You got to take a bite of the heart if it's your first kill.
You sure that's Red Dawn?
No, I think I've eaten the heart of a deer.
Because I've had
Is that-
like elk in that type of
It's
like
not the
just
Red
that
Dawn for
jerky and
philosophy.
shit.
Fucking good.
It is
isn't
so
Yeah, it is.
delicious.
because
it is
you're
so damn delicious.
because
Yeah.
you're shooting an unprocessed animal.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say it's a giant pain in the ass. But if you want to go out and shoot some targets, have some
Oh yeah, we
fun
can do
running
that.
around,
That'll be fun. Let's
I'll
do
get
that.
you guys. We'll go do it.
Not a bad idea. Let's do it.
I'll bring out my arsenal. We'll have
Should
some
I
fun.
plug anything before we sign off?
What do you want to plug?
I got my new
Your butt?
merchandise.
What do you got?
I got my new shirts. I got my new shirts for the next album cycle.
I'm still waiting for my first shirt.
Yeah, I haven't got my
Oh, the
first shirt
Ginza,
either.
this is your time. Get this
Damn.
shirt. This one
Is it
pays
better?
me more to get. 'Cause- And they distribute everything too.
I paid you for the first one and I never got one.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't get the one with the Japanese.
You didn't get the
lettering.
kanji one?
No, I didn't
Oh,
get
you had
that
the other
either.
one. Why didn't you guys get that?
I didn't get one at all.
Oh,
It was on back order.
Oh, I fucking sold out of the. Wait, you're a large, right?
No, I'm an XL, but you did sell out of them.
That's fucking why I sold out, and I didn't have any. XLs.
Real quick, yeah, you didn't have any.
I
Extras.
mean, well, now I got that. Like,
All right.
I can tell you exactly where to go and to get them. If you want them, go to HDLUV. All right, USA.
I gotta buy another one.
I mean, for you, no, I'll get you one. I'm just talking about in general.
Oh, in general, okay.
And then just type in my name, it'll pop up. And also, if you follow any of my social media accounts, J Spears Dub on Instagram, Facebook, Jamal Spears, you can just DM me there, and I'll get you right to it, man.
This track we opened the show with, I want to close the show with because it's a fucking banger.
That's great. Go ahead, hit it.
And y'all shot a video over there.
We did. We shot a video in Japan over this. We shot it right in front of Mount Fuji.
It's cool as shit.
Yeah, in front of a high rise. They imagine as a black dude. No, I speak enough, but we're riding around motherfucking Tokyo, like the countryside of Tokyo, and we got the Cadillac, 69 Cadillac.
That's fucking baller.
We got a goddamn Chrysler, and it's just like a bunch of Japanese rappers and we're riding around, and everyone's driving by, and they're like they're turning all the way around, like, what the fuck is this shit?
Because
And
that
they're
is
just-
a boat over there.
and
That's
we're
the
and all you
vehicle
can
in
hear for miles
Japan.
is cruising down the street in my 6'4", jocking a bitch, slapping a hoe like.
It's awesome.
Oh man, it was great. And I know it's illegal. Cats were getting high out there. I'm not gonna tell you who it was, but cats were getting blowed.
Hell
There's
yeah, dude.
lean is mad legal. Lean is completely legal over the lean
In Japan?
is legal.
Is weed?
No, it's very not. But I mean,
Okay.
you can get it in Tokyo. I mean, it's weird how like there's prostitutes everywhere, but you can't smoke fucking weed. But you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying. But no, I mean, it was a nice time.
It's a badass video. It's so much fun.
It's something we looked
The
like we were
video
having
was
fun.
fun.
And I was so hungover, but I could tell it was good liquor because I didn't have a headache. But I was gone. I was gone. The next day, I was just like, I woke up and I don't remember where I slept.
What were
I
y'all
knew all my
drinking?
shit. Fuck. I mean, there was whiskey, there was beer, there was sake, there was everything you could think of.
And Japanese whiskey, I had some over there, right there.
I don't-
Sake's awesome.
I just
Oh,
remember
fucking crazy.
pulling up
Getting
and like
ordered
I
on Sake's
literally
great.
woke up in the back seat of the Cadillac and they're like, "Hey man, it's time to rap," and I'm just like, "Oh fuck, I don't even know the words of this shit like that." All right, cool, and like we just went out there and we did it right in front of Mount Fuji. Great memory. Can't wait till they reopen. I'm going back. Like that's one hell of a way to go get out the country for the first time.
So I wanted to go with you this last time. I couldn't go because of Nam, and then I got sick,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to go sick.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, I want to go.
Okay, are you gonna have to be attached to me at the hip the whole time?
No.
All right, cool. Because I've had other people
No.
that wanted to come, but like I had like Joe, who's actually the bodyguard over there at Grandma's now. Like he's like the doorman. He wanted to go, and we were gonna go, but then it's like I was like, well, I'm gonna do my own thing sometimes. He's like, oh man, I don't know the language. I don't like. He was like nervous about being. I was like, man, like I just kind of want to be on my own. It's like a safe country. Like if we're not going to fucking Baghdad or something, like
No,
that,
it's beautiful.
It's fucking
It's
safe.
cool as shit.
It's
Everything I know
cool.
about it.
Like you're gonna be good. But he didn't like. He was kind of. I was like, well, Joe, no, let's not.
I'll document you, and you can do whatever you want with the footage.
Cool. We'll do that. We'll
Go
figure
for
it
it.
out, bro.
All right. Jamal, I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in. It's good
Shout
to see you
out.
again. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Brian.
Yeah.
I don't know about this haircut.
Oh, he looks great, man.
I like
Keep
it.
it.
I
You
like
look
My
official.
hair, I'll fuck off.
You look
That's
very
how I-
Aryan.
You look official.
Sorry, that's just how white
You
people
look
look.
official.
is.
I'm
You
saying
look official.
official. What the fuck?
It's the I went
You do.
into deferred to the
I
professional.
was not expecting.
I was like, I want short
the
hair,
Aryan
and
quip.
we just kind of went
I
with
wasn't
it.
expecting.
Where'd
it.
you go? Because my guy won't come out of hiding. I need to get
Place
my
in
hair done.
Arlington, literally like 5 minutes
your
from
guy
my house.
our
I
friend?
wore
Yes.
Is
I
he
wore
still
a
not?
mask while getting my haircut.
Is
It
he
was
being
fine.
forced not to?
Everybody had a mask on in the place. It was fine. To get my sideburns and shit right there, I just held on to the mask so they could, take it off
Clean
my
up
ear.
around?
And, just held it on there. And
Looks damn good, Brian.
It was
Looks
fine.
damn
No,
good.
you look like you're very presentable to society.
Yeah.
You look like you're about ready to sell some
'Cause
insurance.
I need a job of
So
some kind
you're
coming
in-
forward.
Your
so-
new set on the 28th needs to be all about insurance sales.
Insurance.
Sure,
I doubt it
why
will
not?
be. I doubt
I'll
it.
still wear a band shirt and
Yeah,
whatever.
be fucking normal.
You
I'm
need to
still
just-
me.
All right, I see him packing
all you
up.
assholes are.
Wrap
I'm
this-
still me.
We're
I
outta
just
here.
have a
All right,
lot
we out.
shorter shower time.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.
Boop, boop.
Later.
Bye.
Shit,
That
that
was-
went long. That was fun.
That was fun, man.
That was fun.